Grace and peace, everybody. We're back. Happy Lord's Day to you all. Hopefully, you had a great Sunday. This has been a busy day over here at Whitaker Park, but we got a lot done. We got a lot done today. And one of the things we got done is we took Chief Executive Second Born to her sleepaway camp and had a long drive out there to there, long drive out there. And I was able to listen to a couple podcasts. And I listened to one that I really want to share with you all. So, first of all, grace and peace. Hopefully, you had a great Sunday. Let's go ahead and talk about who's all up in the building. Good to see everybody who's already popped in. Make sure you jump in and drop your like number in the chat. 1 second. Shout out to you. I'll see you in a minute, Mike. Thank you so much, brother, for falling through. Uh oh. We got brilliant at times up in the building. Good to see you. Thank you so much for stopping through, Richard, as well. Hello to everyone. Hello to you, brother. Great. Really no favorite number. I'm afraid of 13. No, it's like when you hit the like button, it gives you a number. And just put that in there. You can't hear me? You can't hear me. You cannot hear me. All right, nobody can hear me. Let's see what's going on here, Jason. What's happening here on the browser end? Why is it? Let's see. My sound is low. All right, I'm trying to raise it up. I have no idea what happened. Oh, man. All right, hold on 1 second. Let me see. It's always something, boy. It's always something. All right. Yeah, I have no idea why it's doing that. Here, let's do something else in the meantime. Yeah, I do apologize about that. I have no idea why my audio. It sounds fine on my end, but what is that? Okay, let's see now. Let's try again. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Checking up in here. All right, we are back. We are back. Let's see if it's processing. It says that the audio is processing. Very low, they say. Very low, Jason. Why is it so low? What's going on? On my end, it says it's nice and high. They say I'm muted even. Oh, yeah, yay. Oh, well, that's not good. Give me a second. Here, let me try something else. Hmm. I have no idea what has gone awry. All right, let's see if we can figure this out. All right, let's get some of this stuff off the screen first of all. Maybe that's it. All right, that's the same thing. Default is the headphones. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Mm. Right. All right. No audio. Check your settings. All right. Let's go. Let's figure this out. 1 second. Oh, come on. What is the problem? Here, let's do this real quick. Let me do a little station break.
Oh Lord, the heavens declare your glory. The heavens declare the glory of God. The skies proclaim the work of his hands. Day after day they pour forth speech. Night after night they reveal knowledge without speech or language, without a sound to be heard. Their voice has gone out into all the...
Can you hear me, though, is the question of the day. You can barely hear you, the vocals, though. You can hear the music. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? I don't know. It's saying that it's populating. Can you hear me? You can hear me. Yes, you can hear me. All right. All right. I have no idea what the problem was. It got to keep me humble, though, man. It's got to keep me humble. This is technology is, oh, but you can't hear me well. All right. Let me real quick. Let me listen to it myself. All right. Let me pull in the, because on my end, it sounds like it's working, but clearly something is awry. It's a conspiracy. I got the mic turned all the way up. Okay, so you can hear me. All right, so we're back. Okay. Whew. All right, real quick, green hearts in the chat. If you can hear me, if you can hear me, green hearts in the chat. All right. Okay. All right. So I'm good. All right. Here we go. Loud and clear. There we go. Thank you. Thank you, Mary. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I have no idea, but this thing is meant to, technology is going to keep you humble, right? It's going to keep you on your face before God praying because you get beside yourself. You know, the audio starts acting crazy. The little audio gremlins. It has been a long time since we've had an audio problem. Most of our audio problems are J Wit induced, AKA I put myself on mute. But this is the first time in a long time. So shout out. Thank you so much for your patience. I do apologize. Let's get at it because now I've wasted a little bit of my time. Okay. I've been listening to these podcasts about the Carmelo Anthony trial. I've listened to tons of lawyers talk about the appeals, and we're going to talk about the appeals this week. The appeal process. I apologize. I don't think this is going to happen like these people really intended. But on my way to taking Chief Executive Second Born, I listened to a podcast, and the gentleman was ruminating on the idea that Carmelo's parents literally set him up. And I'm like, I don't want to believe that. I don't think they're smart. I don't think they're really intelligent, but I don't want to believe a mom and dad set their own kid up to get the okey doke. But now I don't know. I don't know. I'm really, we're going to watch this together. Dominique Alexander has not found a camera and a microphone that he does not want to jump in front of. And he keeps talking foolishness. And this right here, I think probably it's solidified it for me. There's a possibility I think his parents set him up. That sounds crazy. I know it sounds crazy, but just think about it. Just think about it. They knew, as most of us knew, that that Carmelo killed that boy. And the whole idea of self-defense, you and I probably are on the same page. We're like, boy, you don't have self-defense if they didn't attack you, if they're not jumping on you, if they're not mollywopping you, you don't have self-defense. But they started collecting this money, and I think that money came in and it started really doing some things to them. I think it really did. And when you hear how much they were quoted by quote unquote black attorneys, and then how much they were quoted by the quote unquote white attorneys, I don't know. I think you might very well you might come to the same place I'm at. I'm starting to think it's possible they might have did this on purpose. I know that sounds crazy. I know it, I'm just telling you, it sounds crazy. Walk with me through this and let's see together, do you come to the same conclusion? We might not. You might say, Jason, you are out of control. And that's okay. I don't want to be right because I think that's just dastardly. I just like to think that they were dumb and they thought that it was going to go differently. They thought if they said self-defense, it would just be self-defense. And they tried to, no, I'm sorry. When we watch this together, and y'all gonna let me know right now in the chat, do you think that he's well, we know he's found guilty. I'm sorry. Do you think he has a snowball's chance of an appeal to overturn this and get him out? What do you think? In the chat, yay or nay? Yes or no? I guess I could have put a poll up. I guess I could put a poll up. Let me put a poll up. Hold on one second. Because we have poll options over here on this old fancy situation right here, wherever the polls are. If I can find it. Y'all probably saying, like, Jason, you the guy over here with the audio problems. You probably need to stay focused. We must stay focused. There it is right there. I'm going to go with, does he have any chance of getting out without serving most of his term, most of his punishment? Okay. And you can say yes, no. All right. I'm going to drop that in the chat. There you go. Now y'all can vote. All right. So here's the poll question. Okay. So I got some 50-50s rocking over here. Got some, oh, sorry. Let me see. Some 50-50s. No. I heard Angry Man today say the exact same thing. I don't think there's any chance of him getting an appeal. I hate to say it, Mary, because I am not a law student. I call myself a pre-K law student. I really respect lawyers and those persons in that field. I've heard a lot of smart people say, "Hey, what are you doing? You make an appeal because there's a problem, a procedural problem in the trial. Like, for example, the judge threw out a piece of evidence that would have exonerated your client. Then you would make an appeal, right? Or of course you would have objected to it during the trial. The judge threw it out, and then you appeal. Got you. This is not just I don't like. Basically, it's like, well, we didn't like the result. Y'all saw the same thing we saw, and y'all came to the same conclusion that we probably should have came to, which is Karmelo killed him. But we don't like that. We want an appeal. You don't just get a run back, and that's what most people are treating it like. Oh, we just get a run back because we want a run back. Oh man, you don't see the poll on YouTube. Where is it? Just put 1, 2, or 3. I think. Oh man, really? Yeah, I don't see. It's almost like you just think you just get a run back because you just want to run back. I don't know how these people are coming to this conclusion, and that's what I'm worried about, because I think, well, let me stop, because when we get to where I'm going, which is, I'm starting to believe that they set that boy up. They put him in a trick bag, and now he's reaping the benefit. But let me explain. So let's go ahead. Dominique Alexander was on a podcast, I guess yesterday, and let me just tell you right now, he needs to stay off a podcast. Okay, I'm wondering if he's really a part of the Carmelo Anthony team. And I want you to listen to it and you determine it for yourself. I don't think he's a part of the Carmelo Anthony team. My own opinion, based upon information and belief, I don't think he's a part of the team. I think he's just talking because he's been a part of the team in the past. But I don't think the family has spoken out and just said, no, he's not a part of the team. And I bring this up because a lot of you have seen Charleston White. Charleston White has gone off about Carmelo Anthony and how the family's been treating him and blah, blah, blah. The dad is weak and all that kind of stuff. All they care about is money. And he really likes the way Jeff Metcalf, he apologized to Jeff Metcalf. I don't give Charleston White any dunker cover, but let's just say that. I noticed he didn't mention Dominique Alexander at all. He only mentioned the mom and the dad. But I thought Dominique was the representative, the spokesman. That's why I don't think he's a part of the team anymore. All right, let's bring this in. Let's get at it, because we got a long way to go, y'all. All right.
Oh, man. Man. Don't want to be the man of the hour, but we doing the work we can.
Like, and I sit there and watch everybody. They blaming you. They blaming you. And I did my research. It seemed like you stick your neck out every time when tragic strike. If people didn't know the Mo3 event downtown, the balloon release, you set it up. The family, nobody else set it up. You set it up. And and I'm watching this situation right now. Was you the first to jump on it?
First one to help this family. First sense of hope and possibility. First person to tell the family, hey, I'm gonna do my best to do whatever I can. You know what I mean?
Okay, and if you watch my video by the lead attorney, my reaction to the lead attorney, the family should have turned this dude away in a heartbeat. The fact that he was the first one there, all that means is you're the first ambulance chaser to catch the ambulance. That's all it is. They should have turned him away in a heartbeat. They should not have hitched their horse to this guy at all, because I think they're reaping the sad reward of hitching their horse to this guy. So let's keep it going. Let's roll.
Um, when we first contacted this family, they were getting death threats. They were getting people coming to their house, surrounding them. They didn't know what was going on. They hadn't talked to their son just quite yet. They really didn't understand the level of magnitude. Mind you, we're getting this situation, and I want to tell people all the time, as a human and civil rights organization, Next Generation, Next Network, this
They needed legal counsel. Matter of fact, you know that this story is bad. You know how you can tell that this Carmelo Anthony's case was FUBAR from the beginning? You never saw the big name black race hustlers step in. You didn't see Ben Crump. You didn't see Al Sharpton. You didn't see any of the usual suspects. Any of them, NAACP, Black Lives Matters. You didn't see any of them step in. Why? Because they knew that they knew it was messed up. They knew that this was a open and shut case. Because you know good and well, if Ben Crump, if Al Sharpton, if any of the one namers that you know thought that there was any possibility to grift off of this and glean some notoriety, glean a little bit of bread from this, you know good and well they would have been here. You know it. Roland Martin didn't come. None of them. They just talked from wherever they were. Why? Because they knew it was FUBAR from the beginning. They knew there was no opportunity. They knew there was no possibility. They also knew there was probably no money to be made in it because it was rather civilians. It wasn't like police or something like that. When police are involved in it, oh, they come out of the woodwork. But why did they not come here? If this was such a great case, why? Because they knew it wasn't open and shut. It wasn't a self-defense case. They knew that boy killed him. Let's go.
is normally a case that we wouldn't get involved with.
Why?
This is normally just a criminal case where a situation happens, and the situation, whatever, unless a family called us or directed us, we really had people reaching out to us about this case and saying, hey, can you help this kid, and going out because of the racial tones that were going on. Like,
I'm sorry. He brought the racial element to it at that initial conference, at that initial press conference where they kicked out Jeff Metcalf. He did that. I'm sorry. You did that yourself, sir. I'm sure people could have been there, and I'm not saying that nobody was, but you were the one that kickstarted it and really gave it a good shove off the cliff. You did that.
It took a week.
No, but it was the day, it was the night.
What
It
you
was
mean
the
like?
night. The night that this tragedy happened.
You
You
reached
had
out.
no. I didn't. I reached out the Friday that it happened, like
No.
2 days,
Yeah.
like a day. So right when this happened, you see WFAA and you see all these reporters and people and comments, and you see these right wing commentators, Megan Kelly and all these people putting out all these stuff or whatever. And it's like, why do you got to be a monkey? Why do you got to be a nigger? Why you got to be this? Why all these threats? You know what I'm saying? So everybody's seeing this, North Texas, everything, and like the white supremacy people just running with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, he should be hung, he should be shot in the head, all of this. So our organization, like, okay, whatever he did, he deserved due process. You know what I'm saying? This is
Did he get due process though? I believe he got due process. So what are we talking about? People do this all the time. Every time there's an event that gets a lot of notoriety, you see that in the comment section. What are we really talking about here? But like for real. But I want you to realize something here. He said we were the first group to approach the family, but people were calling and asking him to support the family. See, I don't think this is right.
Before I even know the situation, know the case. Everybody deserve due process. You get what I'm saying? And so I'm knowing it of this county because I'm born and raised in Oak Cliff. I know some similarities of this county. I know that this county has a history of hanging niggas. And the reality is okay, so somebody get me in contact with this family so that I can be able to help them with the best thing I can.
So here's where I'm starting to think that the family ultimately saw this as a money grab. And Dominique Alexander also saw that there's money to be made, some money to be grifted, money to be slid off the table, off of this, skimmed off the top. And I'm sorry, when you hear how much they paid for the lawyer and how much they gathered, you're going to start wondering too. Like, wait, hold on, how much? It's wild work. Let's go.
Boom. So you get in contact with them. Who brought the lawyers on board?
So you get two different situations. So when I came to the situation, there was an attorney called Billy Clark, right?
Right.
And there was an attorney called Kim T. Cole.
Right.
And those attorneys was brought in only for the simple fact of, I don't care, when I get a situation there's somebody incarcerated, the only person that can get to a person is the one with a bar card, right?
Right.
And I don't care whether it's a personal injury attorney or whatever it is. Get to him, tell him to shut up. It got support out here, his family is out here, everything, right? I told the family, I said, hey, we're gonna set up your fund, we're gonna do whatever, you know what I mean? Do whatever we can. We're gonna bring in, security, all this different type of stuff.
So one of the things I want you to pay attention to is how ambiguous and vague his words are. I'm gonna back up just a little smidgen so you can hear. Listen to how vague he is. And if you follow me when we do body cam bingo or when we're watching body cam footage, you realize that one of the telltale signs when somebody's lying is their story just gets more and more complex and more elaborate and hard to follow. Listen to this story that he's telling. And also, I want you to take note how they never address and say that Karmelo stabbed, murdered, killed, anything Austin Metcalf. It's always tragedy. The event is never the when Karmelo stabbed Austin Metcalf. It's almost like they don't want to admit that this is what happened. Well, actually, I believe that is what they're doing. They don't want to admit and say it that Austin was killed by Karmelo. But they'll say everything else, but they will dance around that. And then also look at the vagary that they use. Let's watch this.
There was an attorney called Billy Clark, right?
Right.
And there was an attorney called Kim T. Cole.
Right.
And those attorneys was brought in only for the simple fact of, I don't care, when I get a situation there's somebody incarcerated, the only person that can get to a person is the one with a bar card, right?
Right.
And I don't care whether it's a personal injury attorney or whatever it is. Get to him, tell him to shut up. It got support out here, his family is out here, everything, right? I told the family, I said, hey, we're gonna set up your fund, we're gonna do whatever, you know what I mean? Do whatever we can, and we're gonna bring in, security, all this different type of stuff. I told them, I said, hey, y'all gotta find an attorney because these attorneys are not, you know what I'm saying, the permanent attorneys. This one doesn't have experience. And Kim T. Cole, although somebody virally said, Kim T. Cole is my organization's general counsel.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Kim T. Cole is a good sister. The water bill in my house is in Kim T. Cole's name. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like it just the pure stupidity of theater that people saying, oh, he fired a black woman attorney to hire. This woman is a civil attorney. You can go on the Texas bar thing and look civil. It ain't
So you
criminal.
actually brought her in just to get back there in the back to talk to her.
Just to talk to him. That's it. That was the whole purpose.
Why is MT Cole? Why is your water bill on in her name? Hold on, wait. I missed that. wait, I missed that. wait. This dude is so jank. Hold on, I got back. I don't want to back up because we got a long way to go. I'm so sorry. I got to hear that again.
All this different type of stuff. I told him, I said, hey, y'all got to find an attorney because these attorneys are not, you know what I'm saying, the permanent attorneys. This one doesn't have experience. And Kim T. Cole, although somebody virally said, Kim T. Cole is my organization's general counsel.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Kim T. Cole is a good sister. The water bill in my house is in Kim T. Cole's name. You know what I'm saying?
That is not the flex that you think it is, my dude. Wait, your water bill is on in somebody else's name. Never mind. You gonna have to. Somebody, please help me understand how that's a flex. You a whole grown man, and you say that the water bill is in somebody else's name. Okay.
Like it just the pure stupidity of theater that people saying, oh, he fired a black woman attorney to hire. This woman is a civil attorney. You can go on the Texas bar thing and look civil. It ain't
So you
criminal.
actually brought her in just to get back there in the back to talk to her.
Just to talk to him. That's it. That was the whole purpose. That was to get him to shut up because we had just when we were sitting with the family, we had got a pastor of one community church. This the church that they were going to right now.
Yeah.
The senior pastor never reached out to him. He said he had just left and spoke to Karmelo. And so, you know, that's cause of alarm. What the hell you doing back there? You know what I'm saying? He one of the co-pastors.
Right.
So we like, okay, he don't need to talk to nobody. You know what I'm saying? Because evidently they didn't sent this pastor there.
I don't know. I'm gonna assume the best. I don't know anything about their pastor, so I'm gonna assume the best. I'm gonna go on a limb and say they probably needed their pastor to be their representative and his spokesman rather than the baby shaking minister of justice, Dominique Alexander here, the felon. Like that's just crazy work. I'm sorry. Why did they overlook? That's crazy. Again, I'm starting my premise here, and y'all feel free to y'all will correct me later on. I think that the family set Karmelo up, and I think part of it is this guy right here, and I think his goal right now is to torpedo any future donations, and you'll see what I mean in a second. Let's go.
You get what I'm saying? To talk to him. Because how do you skip to go to visit they baby and you ain't even reached out to them? But you go to him and then reach out to him later, right? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so, of course, it was like, okay, let's shut this down. And then so what happened was is I leave that situation and I reach out automatically to Frisco Police Department and say, hey, they getting threats, all this different types of stuff or whatever. They all this, y'all need to do whatever y'all need to do. I scheduled a meeting with them. Now, Rain, I told these people I'll come to Frisco. They
Right.
came all the way to Dallas to my office to meet with me.
Right.
Lied to me and said they had a meeting at DPD. Now, they ain't had no damn meeting at DPD. They said, don't let this nigga come to my city. You know what I'm saying? And so they came. And so
So, do you see the vagary here? That he doesn't know the pastor's name. He did know the church. He did say that. But like now it's they. Who is they that came to your office instead of meeting you at the PD? Who is they? Like this is some crazy work, yo. I think he is trying to torpedo, assuming that the appeals actually had like weight. I don't believe even the appeals actually have weight. But I think he's trying to torpedo any future donations.
the mother and the dad reached out to me and said, hey, why aren't you in these meetings? I said, what meetings are you talking about? And there was a PR person named Casey Fox that was on this case.
Yo, what in the world? That is the blackest thing I've heard all day. This is a whole grown man with the water bill in somebody else's name. Shout out to Gene Lee. He said, Jason, will you put my water bill in your name? Absolutely, positively not. No, all the no's. But I will put you in 0-second timeout for making me laugh like that. I mean, for real. Like he literally said that. He said that he said his water bill is in his attorney's name. Make that make. That's the blackest thing I ever heard. Go, Jason, go. Shout out to Gene Lee. Thank you so much for the 20.
And she sent out a press release that Billy Clark and Kim T. Cole was the attorneys.
Right.
Everybody was like, "What the hell?" Blah blah blah. This they ain't got no experience. Blah blah blah. And so I told the family, "This is Sunday. They got a bond hearing Tuesday. Whoever you want to meet with, like, you got to find an attorney today, because if you don't want to reschedule this bond hearing, you got to." So I had them meet with another attorney, a black attorney. The first attorney I had them meet
Was
with
black.
was black. Rain asked me what the price that black attorney.
Okay, hold on. In the chat, real quick, please put in the chat how much the quote unquote black attorney was going to cost them. Put in the chat, put in the chat, put in the chat. Oh, Amethyst Angel, please make sure you email management. Make sure you email management. Just put in chat. Like, what do you think how much was quote unquote the black attorney? How much was the black attorney? You may have already, well, hey, five. Good night. Y'all ain't playing. $100 an hour. Let me tell you something. You got 10x that. $250, $1.75, $500. And this is my question. If your child was fighting for his or her life in the criminal justice system, and you would set up a GoFundMe, and the GoFundMe was, creeping up, $200,000, $300,000, would you actually and let's say that you really thought that your child could get off, right? You really believe that your child could get off. Wouldn't you go ahead and commit to, even if the person was like, what would be the limit? If you knew that if you thought that there was a possibility of getting your child off, would you sacrifice your child and say, well, let me see somebody say right here, $500,000. Let's say it's $500,000. Wouldn't that be worth it for your child, your baby, your little person that you one day, whether you birthed them or you held them, you cut the cord, whatever, wouldn't that be worth it? It just seems such a weird. When you hear how much the attorney was going to charge, you're gonna. I don't know, man. I don't know what y'all gonna say. We're gonna see what y'all say when he does it. Let's go.
We charge
$500,000.
$500,000.
They weren't talking until they gave them $200,000.
what the white man say.
75.
75.
There you go. There it is. I'm gonna back it up again so y'all can hear it. The quote unquote black attorney was going to charge him $500,000, $500,000. The quote unquote white attorney, $75,000. Gene, I can't hurt your feelings. Oh no, I can't hurt your feelings. I'm so sorry. It's 0-second timeout though. It's 0-second. So what am I saying here is everybody knows that Karmelo Anthony's family raised somewhere in the neighborhood of $600,000. Do you mean to tell me that they only spent $100,000, $75,000 on his defense? What do they do with the rest of the money? That's why that's why I'm starting to think they may have set him up. They may have saw him as a cash grab, and they said, we gonna take our money and run. Right. I mean, I don't think that there's really a limit in this regard. Sure, you might not co-sign for your child to get a car. You might not co-sign for your child to take out a student loan. But if you were trying to save your child's life, I think most of us would probably say, where do I sign? Like, what do you want, my arm? Do you want my leg? Like, what do you want? To save your child? And when I hear that, I don't think these people cared that much. That breaks my own heart. And I'm starting to feel bad for Karmelo. Like, dang, bruh, who was in your corner? Who really was supporting Karmelo Anthony? Now, granted, he did wrong. He committed the crime. He needed to go to jail. But is that maybe why he took this to trial instead of copping a plea? Because They saw it as money coming in, and if he copped the plea, they wouldn't be able to get more money. I'm just saying. Tell me I'm wrong. Feel free. Tell me I'm wrong in the chat. But does that make sense? And let's listen to him again.
They got a bond hearing Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever you want to meet with, like, you got to find an attorney today, because if you don't want to reschedule this bond hearing, you got to. So, I had them meet with another attorney, a black attorney. The first attorney I had to meet with was black. Rain asked me what the price that black attorney
We
was.
charge
$500,000. They weren't talking until they gave him $200,000.
What the white man say?
75.
75,000.
Yeah. And so my thing is like, you got this reaction to this case, and you act like, say, man, if it was all these nigga attorneys that wanted to go out there and help that baby, it wouldn't have been no public seating. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But for what?
So he's now showing you. That's why I don't think he's on their team anymore. I don't think he's on the Anthony's team, because the Anthony's now are trying to get more money for the appeal, right? He just told you that they only spent $75,000 on it. So everybody's doing the math. Don't have to be super hard math. You're like, wait, 75,000 rounded up to the nearest 100. That's 100,000. They secured 600,000. That means there's 500,000 floating around out here somewhere. Why do they need to get more money? He's ruining their case. He's in the process actively of torpedoing the Anthony's quote unquote money grab or donations coming in for any appeal. Again, that's assuming that the appeal is valid. I don't believe that the appeal is valid, but let's just pretend that it is. Now people are looking like, hey, hold on, wait. I gave you money. And you mean to tell me y'all only spent $100,000 on his defense, and his defense called it in? He only called in 6 witnesses? Really? No character witnesses? Didn't even get him on the stand? He's torpedoing their case in 4K.
What people don't understand is that as an organization, I'm not an attorney. So if you come to me and say you need my help, I have to put you in a conference room, and then you meet with the attorney. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not protected by attorney-client privilege.
So people don't.
So this is another good thing. Another good point, by the way. 11s, wet 11s. That's only give, send, go money. We don't know what kind of donations they got through other means. We have no idea how many checks they got in the mail. We don't know. So it is very possible they did more than that. But if they only spent $100,000 on his defense, where did the other money go? That's the question. And he is literally in 4K because he's on this Chitlin Circuit podcasting bend. He's literally putting out the specter that they ran off with that money. Is that a reach? Maybe I'm sorry. I am assuming that he's saying they ran off with that money, but we'll see how it goes. What did you say here? Question. I hate and always have. Why is it okay for black people to use the word? It's a derogatory word. The white people to say, why isn't it derogatory for black people to use? I don't use that word. It has to be extremely problematic if I use that word. And I tell my friends, the highly melanated, not to use it either. I don't think that we should use words that are pejorative. We should use derogatory terms like that. So I try my best not to. I do my very best not to. The people around me don't. I do understand that we, the highly melanated community, we're nothing if we're not inconsistent. Let me just say that again. Black people are nothing if we're not inconsistent. We will lose our mind. I guarantee you this guy right here, Dominique Alexander, would absolutely go ballistic if some white person called him the N-word while he's sitting right here using the N-word. It's crazy work. It is inconsistent. My name is Jason, jwitt at jwitt.com if you disagree with me, but there's no use for that word. But let's go.
No, you just a middleman. You just
basically, you know what I'm saying? I'm just the navigator.
People on the news looking at you like you are the attorney.
That's what I'm the attorney. I'm the daddy. I'm the.
But you place yourself in there. You place yourself the face of this case.
Yeah.
I
That's it.
placed myself to gap to make sure that this family was protected. You get what I'm saying? But if people don't sit there and educate themselves, right? You know what I'm saying? You can go on any one of my social media sites and look at this and all this type of stuff or whatever, right? When that family go in there and meet with that attorney, they tell me what that attorney said.
Why did the attorney not position a spokesman or woman to represent and do this and do the speaking on behalf of the Anthony family? Why are you even in this, Mr. Alexander? Because in all honesty, I don't think you did anything to help this family. In my observation, based upon information and belief, I don't think you actually helped them. I think in what we're watching right now, you're torpedoing any opportunities they have. And I think you torpedoed the opportunities they had even before to build a bridge with Jeff Metcalf, which would have actually would have cut us off from ever having to be here right now. So I don't know why you're here, sir. That's the $10 question.
Attorney, I'm not protected by attorney-client privilege. You know what I'm saying?
Did you do it for the money?
What money?
The 600,000 I keep hearing about.
I don't have access to that.
You said you helped them start it.
When you get it started, that fund was started by KC Fox. When you get it started, you point it to a person. It was pointed to the mother.
So the mother had access to it.
Yes, the family got the funds and had access to it and paid for the attorney.
Man, we was hearing you was buying all.
Did they break you off any bread? Now the way he answered that question should already made your spidey senses go off. That don't mean just because the mama got the money don't mean you didn't get paid. Just because you say, hey, well, we got fees involved in coming up here up to Frisco from South Dallas. We got to take care of that, and we got to, this, that, and the other. So, break us off 10K, break us off 50,000, whatever. That is not a hard reach by any means or measure. I don't think anybody here said that he had all of the money. I don't think anybody said that, but maybe somebody did. I'm not saying that it's improbable. I think you got some bread, you got broke off from it, and therein is the problem. But I want to see, do they ever talk about this? Like, he just said he spent 75,000 on a lawyer, and my man just said that they got 600,000. Where is the other 500,000? Okay, let's back that up just a little smidgen. I hate doing this, but I got to.
To that,
You said you helped them start it.
when you get it started, that fund was started by KC Fox. When you get it started, you point it to a person. It was pointed to the mother.
So the mother had access to it.
Yes, the family got the funds and had access to it and paid for the attorney.
Man, we was hearing you was buying all this shit with it.
Man, listen, whatever people want to think, you know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
why I can't keep up with the internet, the bloggers, the whatever.
You mean to tell me you to have full control of this?
No.
Who said
It was
he
a
did?
houseball.
No, they was renting their house.
The
And they
fancy,
still renting their house.
the fancy designers and all that.
Whatever them I was about to say, what
Y'all, let me tell y'all something real quick. If y'all let me get on this here on the Lord's internet with these ashy elbows, let me make sure my elbows ain't ashy. Okay, no. If I ever get on here with my elbows ashy like that, y'all better set me straight. Y'all better tell me something. Y'all don't let me get up here with these ashy limbs. What in the world? Y'all don't let your boy go down like that. Do not let me get out here and be out here down bad like that. Do not let me do that. Y'all say, Jason, bruh, your elbows is ashy, my dude. Don't let me get out here looking like that. Because his elbows look like he been straight up wrestling in powdered sugar or something. Don't you let me do that. Don't y'all let me do that. Y'all look out for your boy. Take care, take care of your nephew. Don't let me get out here with these ashy elbows. And my hands too. Let me make sure my hands is before I talk trash. And my hands are pretty good. Please. Start a lotion fund. Well, no, he got some money. He got some money. Pro John. He got some money. I don't care what he say. He got some bread. He just don't want to admit it. He just don't want to use it on that Jergens. He needs to use it on some of that baby Johnson & Johnson baby oil gel. That stuff is amazing.
whatever that Anthony family had prior to,
Yeah,
the daddy was a finance manager.
right.
So you sitting here talking about cars. When you work at a dealership, you can pull. You know people that work at a dealership. They can pull off any car in the lot. You know what I'm saying? So, but Like people sitting there when they post that picture about the house in the car, that picture was 2023. The house or whatever. Hell, when I came there, I was surprised that they lived in a gated community and stuff. Because the way that you would saw it online, you would have thought they was living in Section 8 or something or
So
whatever.
this
You know what I'm
wasn't
saying?
no poor black family.
No, they were a decent family. The daddy had a good job. You know what I'm saying? And the wife, you know what I'm saying? Mother, Kayla is one of the most beautiful souls ever. You know what I'm saying? A real structured woman or whatever, take care of her kids. You know what I mean? Sweet, polite. You know what I'm saying? Every time Carmelo looked at me, he said, yes, sir, no, sir. You know what I'm saying? Every time, not one time or whatever that he ever looked at me, he did not say, no, sir, yes, sir. Every last
Am- okay. I really, in the year of our Lord 2026, we are going to stop pretending like because somebody has good grades, because somebody has a nice fresh haircut, because somebody says yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, no ma'am, that they don't do bad things. And I'm sorry, please stop this. We got to we got to stop this in the year of our Lord 2026. Let's put that in 2025. Just stop. It's a wrap. He it doesn't matter how nice he was. He killed the boy. That's just the end of the day. He stabbed that boy. It doesn't matter how nice he was. He brushed his teeth. He ate all his vegetables. He said his prayers before he went to bed. He walked the dog. He helped Miss Johnson walk across the street. And he killed Austin Metcalf. Like, that's why you don't ever hear them mention what actually happened. They call it a tragedy, the event, when this happened, but they don't actually say what actually happened. Like, what happened? Like, what is he in jail for? I would love for somebody to ask him, what is he in jail for? Right, the bare minimum. I'm like, that's what most kids are supposed to do. Fine, they raised him to say those things, but they also raised him and he killed somebody. Just stop it. Stop with the fakeness, man. It doesn't matter. Like, just go ahead and admit it. He killed that boy.
child in that house.
Well, so when you come in the first person to represent them, helping them, did they fire you after the trial?
No,
So you're not fired right now.
I. You can't get fired to what you never was hired.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, do you see what I mean by he's not really a part of the team? I don't think he's on there. I don't think you never hear them mention him. You don't hear anybody that's riding for Carmelo talking about Dominique Alexander. Dominique Alexander's over here talking about Dominique Alexander, but I don't hear them ever mention it. I've watched 3 interviews with Carmelo's family since he was found guilty, convicted, and sentenced. I've not heard them mention his name yet. But I've seen 3 interviews with Dominique Alexander, and all he can do is talk about them. Just seems odd.
I'm the president of the Next Generation Action Network. That's a human and civil rights organization.
Right.
I report to 14 people on the board of directors and make good money in doing that. I founded this organization when I was 25 in 2014. I work for the organization. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the organization or accepts to help families when they have situations. You get what I'm
But
saying?
why don't you help the black on black crimes?
You know what? As much as I think this is a Chitlin Circuit interview, I actually like the questions that he's asking. I got to give that guy. His name is Rain. The link is down in the description, by the way. You know what? I got to give him props because he's asking some good questions. I wish he would ask more developmental questions, but I'm gonna give him these questions. Let's go.
When I can, I do.
We didn't see you out there with
Which
Z the
one?
Wizard.
Guess what? You know why?
Why?
Because
The West
around-
Dallas.
But around that time when Z the Wizard was coming, you got to remember, during this time, people don't even understand. I lost my own son to violence. You know what I'm saying? In Michigan. If people look at my social media or whatever, you'll see me actually having to go in front of in Saginaw, Michigan, going for the judge and sentencing and all that type of stuff or whatever. When I first started doing activism was Black on Stop the Violence. It was after Delisa Kelly was beaten and strangled to death and found. I literally created a law in state of Texas called the Clear Alert for victims of imminent dangers between the ages of 18 to 64. You know, Who did the response when Siobhan Randall was found in that house, in that vacant house, and with Michael Titus years ago, right there down the street from Holmes?
You
You know what I
was.
mean? So the reality is, it's been a number of times. Who was there when and told them niggas on Second Street when that little 6-year-old got shot right there at the TMA and charged them up? You know what I'm saying? And literally brought all those Panthers down that doggone street and so, like, bro, we've always been there. You know what I'm
But do
saying?
you only assert yourself on high profile cases just for the look?
No, because I'm gonna
Huh?
tell
Huh?
you about 80% of the work that I do, about probably 90, you never even know. You get what I'm saying? Who organized the kids to walk out of South Oak Cliff High School?
You
Who
did.
led to $62 million renovation? Who, there was 600 kids. It's 1,600 kids. South Oak Cliff High School is the highest academically rated comprehensive high school in Dallas ISD right now.
So I just looked real quick and I looked up the clear response or the clear alert. And at the current moment, there is absolutely no tie of Dominique's organization or the Next Generation Action Network associated with that law, that procedure, the clear alert legislation. It, there was nothing about him involved in it at all. So he literally, and again, I might be just scanning very quickly. I'm looking. I don't see his name associated with at all with it. But he just said that he did. I just want to put that out there.
Since the new building.
5 championship appearances. My name is on the building. You know what I'm saying? Who built the John Lewis Social Justice Academy, rebuilding Lincoln? Who building the downtown Dallas school with 5, the first time in Texas where an all African American instruction team is on that building? So if somebody want to sit here and say, man, this, I'm not just no ambulance chaser and all that type of stuff or whatever. If you know me, I prefer not to. But you know, when I was walking out of that Collin County courtroom, I didn't say, hey, cameras, come to me.
You didn't have to. You walked out like the Black Mafia.
They
Right.
didn't.
And I just another quick. I did look again. He says that his name is on the building and they can't find. Again, I'm just doing a quick search. I'm trying to check it in real time. There's nothing that says that his name is on any high school building, gymnasium, auditorium, theater, or structure in the Dallas ISD school district. But he just keeps saying this stuff. Okay.
But at the end of the day, the work speak for itself.
They said you drove up with a bunch of Suburbans and hopped out
But you-
like the Man in Black.
But you got to realize, in this case, people not understanding what people had to go through to stand in the gap for this family. Rain, I had to move. Niggas was surrounding my house. You know what I'm saying? Apartment when I'm living downtown.
Was it worth it?
I'm sitting here with anytime I've made the personal sacrifice of my life of standing and being the president of the Next Generation Action Network, right? But I
So you moved on your own dime. So you didn't look at the parents and say, "Hey, I know y'all got 600,000. I know y'all spent 100,000 on this lawyer. I got to move because people are surrounding my house." I guess you just did that on your own strength, right? Okay. Just wondering. Just wondering.
have children. I have to protect it. I'm. These people are still calling the phone today, sending death threats.
But do you feel like you failed this boy?
Let me tell you this, Rain. If anybody that helped in this situation, and if you can't have a personal complex of yourself, like a personal accountability, anytime a case comes without the outcome that I didn't want, your personal thing, you feel like you failed. Many people around me, Dominique, you did best you can. I know I did the best I can.
I would love for somebody to ask him, "What were you supposed to do? What did you do?" And like delineate it and break it down. Don't say things and stuff and that, but be very clear. Like, this is what I was supposed to do. This is what I did. I would love for somebody to ask him that rather than take this whatever he's spouting, but just ask, like, what is it that you did? Because I think you did fail. Carmelo, because I think you failed Carmelo because you did not step out of the way and let a legal expert, a good spokesman or woman, step in and speak on behalf of that family. The fact that you were in that position meant that could that a more qualified, more intelligent, more understanding, more astute, more wise individual was not in that position. So yes, you did fail that family by being in that position at all. If you were not there, a good pastor, if you were not there, maybe a former lawmaker, maybe just a less contentious, less baby shaking community person could have been the spokesman, could have been the spokeswoman for this family, could have given them guidance and direction. But because you were there, you filled that lane and you failed the family.
But a personal example, when I look at a baby that, see, you saying Carmelo Anthony name and different people saying Carmelo Anthony name, I know Carmelo Anthony.
Dude, you see a killer in his eyes.
No, that boy is a sweet man. The boy is so intelligent, man. The little boy is so intelligent and articulate, man. This boy right here is like a nephew to me. You know what I'm saying? The other day when people, the day after this, and people are responding and this, that, and the third, Robert knows this, man. When they went on the camera and people seeing the rage, I didn't even want to talk. You get what I'm saying? The the anger that was on me, the anger of the frustration that I have about this attorney, the all of that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Everything I've heard, black people, white people, all kinds of people said that attorney was not a chump. He was not some guy that just phoned it in. Most people, in all, if they're honest, they will say it really didn't matter because he was guilty. You cannot unguilty somebody by paying a good lawyer. Now, I do think a good lawyer would have told y'all should go ahead and cop a plea. And I believe that lawyer did actually ask them that. That's why I say also, I believe the family told Carmelo not to cop a plea because they knew that they could keep getting more money coming into their coffers if he stayed saying he was innocent, self defense, blah, blah, blah. I'm taking the trial. And that would just drag it out that much longer to get that much more bread, AKA donations, go, gifts and go, so on and so forth. But if he had said, a year ago, yeah, I'm guilty, I'm a cop a plea, get, whatever, throw myself at the mercy of the court, all that money would have stopped instantaneously. That's why I think there's something shady going on.
man, when I remember the other day, the next day, that my operations director was trying to keep somebody from showing me Carmelo's mugshot, and somebody did, and I literally fell to my knees, man, because I think people think this is a game and this is about clickbait.
How did they get him? How did they get him to TDC that fast? I never in the history have seen someone go to trial and be shipped to TDC the next morning.
Now, let me tell you this, Rain. In high profile cases, they are done that way, but in a sense, they deliberately, that does not eliminate the fact that they deliberately tried to make a statement with this. Okay? Because we know that whatever the hell they had on Carmelo is not what they were down there. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, we know that shit. You know what I'm saying? We got it's a whole Facebook group and Facebook page with niggas on live and all that type. We know they don't wear that down there. So what do he got on? You know what I'm saying?
So because of what Carmelo had on, I think he's talking about that white jumpsuit that he had on. They shaved his head and put him in a white, like, I don't know, white, like bone colored, ivory colored jump. I guess that's bad. Bro, if you don't sit your crusty self down and get some lotion on your elbows and hands, bro, the issue is that he killed Austin Metcalf. And he's still not going to say that, by the way.
So we know that is a statement. We know that's a statement. But the reality is that people are coming at me about the legal process. I had to observe it just like everybody else.
I don't think anybody's asking him I know he's not a lawyer. I'm saying that as a spokesman for the family, you failed the family. You failed Carmelo Anthony. I'm sorry. I don't think anybody. Now maybe they were. Maybe let me back out of that. Sorry about that. Maybe some people were treating him like he was a lawyer, which I don't know why, but maybe they were. I'm saying that your being on the team at all was problematic. You brought a level of ill repute to the Anthonys that I don't believe it can be repaired. And I believe the reason why Carmelo was looking at guilty with 35 years is because of Mr. Alexander. I'm sorry. I just don't think, because they did not have good counsel, they didn't have wise counsel, they didn't have anybody with good common sense. They had you there, Mr. Dominique Baby Shaker Alexander. That's why Carmelo Anthony is looking at 35 years and trying to appeal, which is not going to work.
Dad said that he was advised not to have a
Speak-
white lawyer.
He was
I mean,
advised.
a black
he was
lawyer.
advised not to speak to certain people. He was advised. He was. They were trying. The defense counsel was trying to keep him from certain people. That certain person was me. I'm. It's multiple people that I didn't show in attorneys that then came out on social media and said, "Hey, no, Dominique actually had them meet with
So
me."
why is they
The,
blaming you? The family blaming you now?
the family's not
Oh,
blaming me.
so
This is somebody's interpretation of it.
yeah, the way he put them words together, we think everybody talking
He
about
said
you.
the defense counsel.
Yeah.
But you got some people thinking I'm the defense counsel.
Niggas don't know what you is.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what's going
Well, that's a very true statement. Nobody knows what you are. But it's not even that. It's the fact that you're there at all. What are you doing is a great question. You got people, this is a highly volatile situation. This young man's life is hanging in the balance, and they got your goofy self walking around here pretending your Timu MLK behavior, and you're filling up a spot that somebody else should have been in. Somebody from the legal defense team should have been in front of that microphone. Somebody from the legal defense team should have been the family representative with the media, not you. You should have been nowhere near it. And I do believe this is the reason why he is in jail. I mean, that's why Carmelo's in jail. That's it. I believe Carmelo killed him. Carmelo should have gone to jail, but I believe that somebody with good sense could have helped them out much better than you. Since he doesn't seem to even know what he does there, I think that's problematic. And now the family should be looking at this saying, we tapped this guy to represent our family, represent our boy in this very, very tenuous situation. Life and death, literally. Life and death. And we got a baby shaking felon over here standing in front of us, pretending like he MLK 2026. Okay.
like you said, he said that he didn't say the man's name, but he said the defense counsel was trying to keep. He was instructed to hire this attorney. He was told that it was probably good that you had white attorneys and all that type of stuff. And those are things that we were told, but these are things that we were dealing with, the cards that were dealt to us, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And
Notice that he's using collective words like we and our. So he is clearly a part of the team. And I hold the mom and dad guilty of that. I'm sorry. This is not a yard sale. This is not a community fundraiser car wash. We are talking about your child is going to go to jail for 100 quadrillion years if you don't play your cards correctly. Nobody needs to be on this team that is a rookie. Nobody needs to be on this team that is a baby shaking minister of justice. None whatsoever. Why in the Lord's name was Dominique Alexander anywhere near y'all? That should be a problem for what's his name? The Anthonys. That's their problem that they need to deal with. Because it makes no sense. Yeah, I'm sorry. I meant prison. I apologize. I'm using jail and prison interchangeably. Please forgive me. But there's no reason for him to be anywhere near it, y'all. This is not a game. This is not a bake sale. We're not doing mock trial in third grade social studies class. This is somebody's life hanging in the balance. We've got to be very serious and oh so very serious. I don't think they were serious because I think the parents set him up.
It wasn't like, man, listen, I've been doing this for a long time. Every black attorney that I called or whatever it may be, and the different ones, it's not like all of them responded saying, man, I want to go down there in Collin County. You know different attorneys that don't go to Tarrant or Kaufman or Ellis or Collin. You know what I'm saying? I want to deal with that or didn't. You know what I mean? I caught a case more than 8 years ago, and I had a black attorney, Bree West. She was out there doing the recaps for WFAA. She will literally tell you this white damn judge wouldn't even look up at her.
But why would y'all bring somebody from Dallas County to Collin County?
He practiced in Dallas, in Collin. That was through the research.
Notice that the accountability has not entered the chat. The issue is the big issue is where the attorney came from, not the fact that the boy was guilty. I'm sorry, he was guilty. I it's almost like they're assuming that he was innocent. And again, I understand the idea innocent until proven guilty. I understand that. I understand the axiom, and that's true. But he did stab him, right? So we're not talking about something that we don't know. It's not like a who done it. It's like the dude confessed to it. He was picked out. Several people pointed him out. We know he did it. So the idea in the game right now should never have been like, oh, we're going to try to get you to prove that he's guilty. Y'all should have copped a plea. But that's why I don't think the family was in Karmelo's corner. I believe they saw this as a long game of extracting funds from these gifts and goals, these GoFundMe type of events and donations, and stirring up the racial animus to get more funds and then let the chips fall where they may.
He practices out there. He's on the he has multiple different cases out there. So when you looking for an attorney, you're going to look for who practices in the county. So if somebody is it's easy to Monday night quarterback,
Right.
but you got to realize we have 24 hours to do this. This is not a process where, okay, let's do this, let's do this. I even told one of the black attorneys, the crazy part, I even told one of the black attorneys, hey man, do the bond hearing for me so that the family have time to find an attorney. Oh man, fuck all that. They can't give me. I'm just telling you what they responded. I'm not trying to what's called like fuck all that. I can't go what's called. If they can't pay my retainer fee, then they what it is. You know what I'm saying?
I've talked to attorneys. Y'all know. I've talked to attorneys. I've paid attorneys fees in the last couple of months that I didn't want to pay. But I know that this man and women, their level of expertise, you're paying for that expertise. You don't want me, a pre-K law student, to do anything for you. You really don't. Even if I'll do it for free. You do not want a pre-K law student doing anything for you. If you're looking down the barrel of 35 years, 99 years, possible death penalty, you want the best attorney possible. And again, if that means that you're paying a retainer, you're gonna pay $5,000 for somebody to stand there for 2 minutes and say, not guilty, Your Honor. We ask for bond and remission. Guess what? You're gonna pay that because that man or woman's expertise in doing that and being able to make sure that you can get out of there is invaluable. This is just I don't think these people cared about this boy. I really don't think so. I'm starting to think they saw him with dollar signs. I really think I'm starting to believe the family and Dominique Alexander saw Karmelo as a money bag. There's a big old money bag. And they said, this is a way that we can get this bread. We can catch this bag, and we know he's gonna go to jail. We know he cooked, but we're gonna drag this out. We're gonna take it to court, all that kind of stuff, and we're gonna I mean, well, let me ask this question. If you disagree with me, tell me why I'm wrong.
I'm like, dude, they don't have the money. They don't have access to the money. Like people sitting there saying the fund, they're sitting there saying the fund, but this family did not have access to that fund until 2 to 4 weeks afterwards. Carmelo was already home. You got to realize, like, Carmelo was bonded out with support of no limit bail bonds and CT. You know what I'm saying? I went to the hood to go do that. When we did the bond hearing, we came from Collin County all the way to Oak Cliff to bond him out and different I used every network available for me. You know what I'm saying?
So when you said that they live in a gated community, they live in a really nice neighborhood, dad was a finance manager, you mean to tell me they couldn't put their house up? They could not, they did not have any resources to put up in order to get him out or to, at least hold space so that this attorney can take care of that. It sounds like they just tell me I'm wrong. That's all.
To do this family didn't have access to this money. People, when you go and do online platforms and you raise money, that you don't get that the next day. You know what I'm saying? That ain't like a Cash App account. You know what I'm saying? They have to, especially if you raise significant money, you gotta send ID, you gotta send bank you gotta send all types of stuff, and that go through a verification process. And then they email you and say release the funds. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like what I told somebody. I said, hey, if we had the time, all of those factors could be in consideration. You know what I'm saying? And even stuff that I was like, hey, with the dad, like, man, hey, well, let's go with Mike Howard and let's find the second chair a black attorney. We did that. But even after the process, what people
So he can't sit there and say the family chose this attorney. He literally just said he told them to go with Mike Howard, which is he said that Mike Howard was $75,000 when the quote unquote best black attorney was $500,000. You didn't realize there was a problem with that? You didn't see that there was a little bit of weirdness? Like, oh, why is this one 75 and why is this one 500,000? You didn't think about that? Okay.
are not understanding, as an organization and civil rights organization, once we pass you on to the attorney, we are now no longer a part of the legal process. So when
So you were a part of the legal process. I don't think this guy, again, I think he's doing himself no favors whatsoever doing these Chitlin Circuit podcast interviews. He is doing himself zero favors. There are no favors done here whatsoever. He's now saying that he's a part of the legal process when earlier he said they're not a part of the legal process. Which one is it, man? I'm feeling bad for Karmelo in a very odd kind of way, because just think about it. Like, okay, okay. Shout out to y'all. There's quite a few of y'all up in here. Please make sure you hit that like button. So imagine if Karmelo had stayed in and did not get bonded out. Let's say he stayed in jail for 2 weeks while they worked through the process and got him bonded out. So he spent 14, 15 days in jail and got a good feeling for what it's going to be like probably when he goes to prison. Do you think that he would have come out of there, been like, hey, let me go ahead and cop up. Let me go ahead and fess up and say I did it. Maybe I can get a plea deal if I just say I did it. Maybe they'll throw some mercy on me if I just come out and say that. But no, y'all did all of this little hooju mooju, got him out. He's at home chilling, graduating, taking classes online, living his best life. Well, there's no understanding. Nothing has changed. He didn't see any of the repercussions of his behavior of stabbing Austin Metcalf. So therefore, now is very hard for him to understand. Maybe I should cop a plea. So when y'all say cop a plea, it probably went over his head because he had not experienced. We like to say God is going to show you through revelation or through tribulation. Now, revelation is everybody now who's like, you know what? It's a bad thing to stab somebody. And you're like, you know what? I'm not going to take any, knives to track meets. That's revelation. That's you got the revelation because you saw what happened to Carmelo Anthony. And you say, you know what? It's probably a bad idea to stick sharp objects into other humans because they push me. I should probably not do that. That's revelation. Now, tribulation is what Carmelo Anthony's learning now. Yeah, he's learning. He's learning a lot of things that us who don't want to go to jail, who will never go to prison, don't want to learn. So because I don't ever want to learn that, I am not going to be stabbing anybody. Right? I'm just not going to do it. I'm gonna probably just take the L and leave. If somebody says leave, I don't care if you white. I don't care if your name is Jethro. You got the KKK flag. You say leave. You know what I'm gonna say? Yeah, you're right. I'm good. Holler at you, my guy. Because I don't like going. I don't want to go to jail. That's how I support the criminal justice system, by staying the devil out of the criminal justice system. I'm gonna let y'all go ahead and y'all go over there and do that thing. Police, that's where they are over there. I'm over here minding my own business. Revelation or tribulation. So sadly, I don't think Carmelo got the revelation. I think if he had stayed in jail, I think he would have got the revelation. Let me go ahead and tap out of this. Let me go ahead and plead. Let me plead guilty. But no. He was out in a heartbeat. That judge did all that. Remember, he had like $1 million bond, and they did some Mickey Flynn, and they moved that around and got it down to 250. And I don't think he learned anything. I don't think he learned. So now it's tribulation. You had the opportunity to learn through revelation, but now because people moved you out of the way and didn't let you learn, now you're learning through tribulation. Y'all feel free to tell me that I'm wrong. I'm fine with y'all telling me that. Let's go.
You meeting, or they meeting with Carmelo, or they having strategy, or they having conversations. Even if they came to me and said, "Hey, Dominique, we need $10,000 for a pathology," I gotta give them money from the organization. But if I had questions about what this and how this gonna be, blah blah blah, this that, and the third,
What does that
they're
mean?
not liberty to answer those questions. I'm not meeting with this man. You know what I'm saying? Whatever case he's putting up, when he put up, I'm a spectator just like you, coming there and whatever, blah blah blah. I'm only there from a crisis management perspective to help this family resources move, bond them out, get the resources, connect them with. It's like connecting the dots with them, you know what I'm saying, and making sure that you stand in the gap and saying to all these white supremacists that are threatening them, and this police department that's failing them, the same police department that was telling the world that the Metcalfs was getting their house was getting basically what's that doggone, swatted. And then when it came to the Anthony family, they wasn't even reporting. They told them, oh,
So the injustice is that the police said that the Metcalfs were being swatted, but it's unjust because they didn't mention that Carmelo Anthony was also being swatted. Uh, Do you mind, Mr. Alexander Baby Shaking Justice Minister? Do you mind telling me what the Metcalfs relationship is to this? I don't know what the Metcalfs even. This is actually the first time he mentioned the Metcalfs name. Like, what are the Metcalfs involved in? What do they have to do with this story? Do you mind telling us what they actually have to do with the story? Because I don't know what they have to do. Who are the Metcalfs, Dominique? It just seems odd that they refuse to mention that Carmelo killed that boy. They refuse to mention this. They will come up with 55 different ways to say he killed him.
that's not a crime. No, you supposed to report it. If I got a white boy walking around my house or whatever, I need you to document this, because if I have to shoot this, you know what I'm saying? And so it was clear.
Because it was about race.
It was clear. But the part is that we didn't bring race into the situation. We saw it. So that's why I go back to
So we just lying. We just lying in 4K. At this point in the game, clearly we just making up stuff. We just ain't lying to make friends. Sir, sir, okay.
the same thing where I said this is normally a situation that I wouldn't have got involved in.
The
It
devil is
was
a
the
liar.
factors of race and how the white supremacy world in the media and all that world literally started to run around the case, and how some of these influencers and right wing influencers started to.
Right wing. Stabbing? How about stabbing? Don't worry me about right wing, left wing. I want to know why Carmelo put that knife in that boy's chest. How about that? How about you explain that?
Say different things, and they were putting faces, and they were posting stuff with Carmelo with a noose and all these different types of stuff, right? And so
How
like I
dare they?
told
How dare they do that? That's so. Why were they doing that? I wonder. What did Carmelo do? Maybe that's it. Maybe I don't know. Why? What did Carmelo do, Mr. Alexander? I just came from Mars. I just stopped in. I'm Jason from Mars. I don't know what this is all about. Mr. Alexander, I heard you the baby shaking minister of justice. Could you tell me what Carmelo did? Like what why are they treating Carmelo like this? Tell me what he did.
somebody, I'm getting inboxes, emails, and saying, "Hey, do y'all see this? Can y'all help them? Can y'all do this?" And
So
I'm
you didn't bring race. You didn't bring race.
no, I can't, man. It's in 2026. It is stupid for anybody to say to a black man to saying, "I'm bringing race into this situation." I'm not there at this damn track meet. I don't know what's going on. I just see on my algorithms that nigger, this nigger died, this nigga hang. You go on WFA, it's the most racist damn comments on the bottom of it. You go in the morning, Nancy Grace, it's stuff going on, and
Why are they saying that about again, I'm Jason from Mars. I just, flew in from Mars. What did Carmelo do? Well, why are they being so mean to this fellow, Mr. Carmelo the fellow, Mr. Dominique the baby shaking minister of justice? What did they do? What did Carmelo do? Because you haven't told me what he's done. I hear all these people being mean to him, saying mean words to him, putting mean words on the screen. I apologize, but minister of justice that shakes babies. What is it that Carmelo did?
and Megan Kelly, all these people, these right wing people, and with that, this family is getting flooded. Letters sent to them, people at their house, threats, phone calls, somebody finding a phone number, all these different types of stuff. So I tell people all the time,
How terrible! How
I'm
terrible!
not the attorney. I'm
We
not
know
a
that.
part of the legal process.
We know that.
I'm not protected by attorney-client privilege, right? All of these questions that some people have or whatever, I got the same question, same whatever it may be. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not in those meetings.
When did you realize the lawyer was some bullshit?
January,
Oh, you knew back in January.
January, February, March. I'm literally, there are attorneys that posted and put out saying, no, Dominique actually wanted to schedule meetings with us, with the family to kind of, you know what I mean, to fire this attorney and blah, blah, blah. But the decision was made that they had already done invested so much money into this attorney, right?
How much money did
That
they
that
invest?
change was not, you know what I'm saying? I gave my objection.
Who idea was that to keep the attorney?
It was the dad. That's the dad, the mama's position. You know what I'm saying? That's
I told you. I mean, he gonna throw him under the bus. It doesn't matter how good of an attorney. Y'all keep pretending like the boy did not stab. Oh, by the way, I'm Jason, no longer from Mars. Y'all make it sound like Carmelo didn't stab the boy. Y'all make it sound like, oh, if we had spent $1 million, this attorney would have fixed this. No, he was still going to jail. That's why a lot of these attorneys probably didn't even touch this. To be honest with you, my opinion, based upon information and belief, I think many of the reasons why people didn't jump on this is because they knew he was going to go to jail. They knew it. They knew y'all had the bread. So I don't think most attorneys are in here to just turn aside money. They also don't want to be attached to something as insane as this. This is a lose-lose situation, and they already knew that y'all were not going to cop a plea, even though he admitted that he did it. Oh no, I'm not wasting my time with that. That's probably why many of these attorneys, black, white, yellow, green, all turned you down because they said y'all don't got the good sense God gave a dead squirrel to say you in trouble. We need to go ahead and cop a plea and beg for mercy from the court. Nope. Y'all gonna take it to trial. And that's why y'all here. That's why I don't think his family was rooting for him.
that's their position, and that's not a knock towards Andrew or Kayla. They were doing the best thing that they had because Andrew, when we created this fund,
Right.
you got to remember The dad of Austin Metcalf is steady going to this man's job. He not able to go back to work. You know what I'm saying? So when we set up this fund, it was like they literally were dealing with the resources that was available to us. So they weren't in a position to make this move or do this move and different things of that nature, right?
Right.
And you know, I would say, but that was a decision that I had to respect them. That's a decision from them. And it's easy for somebody to even criticize, you know, easy for you to criticize then. But if you're not living in the moment, this family had to live the last year with the daddy. If you went out to a McDonald's, you had to put a hoodie on. You had to every day for 365 days, every day there was a comment on social media, either YouTube, Facebook, anything about Carmelo Anthony. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my gosh. What did Carmelo do? Dominique, what did Carmelo do? They just picking on Carmelo because he ran a good 4x4? Is that it? Like they just picking on him. They just picking on him, right? What did he do, Dominique? Again, like they're not gonna say, and they refuse to mention that he killed that boy.
These some bitches didn't even rest on Thanksgiving, Christmas, and Easter. You know what I'm saying? Or New Year's. They every day there's a post about this doggone case, right? And so when people
How
criticize them
dare
now,
they?
you gotta realize this family lived a whole year in agony. They couldn't go outside. They couldn't do certain things. You know what I'm saying?
Man, how sad that is. Like the ability to shift and make Carmelo's family the victims and give no respect to the Metcalf family at all. None whatsoever. That is some crazy work. That is some crazy work. Like instead of saying like everybody suffered for the last 365 days, everybody suffered. But no. But the Metcalfs, they didn't suffer. The Metcalfs, they didn't suffer at all. But Carmelo's family, they suffered. Their boy was at home. Carmelo was at home with his mom and dad and brothers and sisters. The Metcalfs, oh no, they had to go visit one of their children at a cemetery. But no, they didn't suffer though. They did not suffer. But the Anthony family, they suffered.
This daddy couldn't just pick up no regular job.
But they're saying that the dad of Austin dad actually said he came to the meeting with y'all to pray. Why did you get him escorted?
Good you asked that question because
Let's
guess
go.
what? It's a criminal case, right? And so here's the thing. I get CBS 11 anchor, JD Miles, right? I'm getting ready. There's 17 cameras right here. The family is in the back, right? The dude come to me, he say, you know that's the dad. I said, what? Who dad? I never saw him, Rain. So hell, I don't know him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like what can I say?
Yeah.
So then he said right there, that man is standing right here. Okay? He ain't moving. He ain't said nothing to nobody.
What did that make you feel when you laid eyes on him?
Man, I'm looking like, what the fuck this nigga doing? He ain't answer. Bro, if you come to pray,
Yeah.
if you come to pray and
Yeah.
all this type of stuff,
Yeah.
you come in my office. This is a private facility, right?
Right.
Hey, bro, man, I just come here to pray,
Yeah,
blah, blah,
yeah,
blah, this,
yeah,
that, and third.
yeah.
But if I just sit here and stand here, and I just stand here, I don't say nothing, I don't introduce myself to nobody,
Yeah.
I just standing. What you supposed to left to think?
Yeah.
I
So, shout out to the lead attorney. If I could please, if the mods, go ahead and drop that video in the chat that I did responding to the lead attorney addressing this particular situation in all of his legal expertise. This is exactly why, I'm saying he is a liability to the team. He's not an asset to Carmelo. He was not an asset at all. He was a liability in 4K because before, literally 2 days after this event where Carmelo Anthony plunged the knife into Austin Metcalf's chest, killing him, Jeff Metcalf said that he forgave him. He said he's not holding any grudge. He wants to move forward and work with them. It's something to that magnitude. So him coming to that event, a lawyer with his or her head screwed on correctly, would have said, "Hold on, wait, that's the dad? Oh, no, we got to make this work because this is an opportunity for us to get Karmelo a lighter sentence. This is an opportunity for us to get Karmelo some mercy." And the lead attorney broke it down so well. I do not want to do any disservice. Please check out that video and see what lead had to say. But my point is, an attorney, a person with common sense, should have been at that podium, not Dominique baby shaking Minister of Justice Alexander. He had no business. He should never even been in the room. They should have not even been in the same zip code. He should have had a legal. The Anthonys did wrong. That's why I don't think the Anthonys were there to support their child. I think they saw it as a monetary grift, and that's what it is. My name is Jason, jwitt at jwitt.com. But this is really sad because Karmelo did wrong, but he needed good, wise counsel from his mama, his daddy, his grandmama. They did not need the baby shaking minister of justice there. They needed somebody who had some sense, who knew what to do. Because if Jeff Metcalf was there, that was an opportunity to completely flip this story and flip this whole narrative in such a direction that could have been so positive, not only for the Anthonys, not only for the Metcalfs, but I would say even for everybody who's at each other's throats over this Karmelo Anthony story. But that dingbat kicked Jeff Metcalf out of there thinking he was big and bad, and guess what he did? He guaranteed Karmelo was going to have at least 20 years. They probably threw 15 on it just for good measure. And now y'all are sitting here looking real dumb, real ignorant, when y'all could have done something different, but you don't know what you're doing. Baby shaking minister of justice. You don't. And you should not have been there. You were a liability to the team. Tell me I'm wrong. That's it. Y'all are welcome to please tell me I'm wrong. Because I don't want to be right, but I feel like, tell me I'm wrong.
I haven't approached this man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He just standing. He ain't said nothing to nobody.
Did he ever speak to anyone?
No. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's going like this?
Because y'all didn't walk over there and speak to him. Now, y'all know I like to talk to folk. I don't care. I'm going to talk to anybody. It's a joke for me. I'm going to talk to people. But, like, why did you not go talk to him? Like, why are you already seeing yourself in an adversarial situation when the man got on front of national television and said he forgives Karmelo? Why did you not immediately take that as a sign? Let's get him on our side. We got to get Jeff Metcalf on our side. Jeff Metcalf comes to your press conference and you didn't have to drive to his house. The dude came to your press conference and you're like, oh, let's kick him out because he didn't speak to nobody. Why did you not go speak to him? Why did you not put your hat in your hand and be like, Mr. Metcalf, come on back here. Let's talk. Let's talk. We're gonna put the presser on pause. We got Jeff here. Let's talk. Let's pray. Let's get this out. And then come back out there. Y'all kick Jeff out of there and guarantee Karmelo would be found guilty 20 plus years. You're welcome.
Hey, man, listen. And so what I did was, because I don't want nothing to happen, I go back and call because Karmelo was on that leg monitor. We actually, when we got him a release, we had a direct contact to the bailiff at the time.
Right.
Now, mind you, remember he had a different judge at this time. It was the black woman judge, right? And so we had a direct, and we got a message and said, hey, should he be here? And we were told no. Now, mind you, because of the security purposes, it's already plainclothes DPD intelligence officers in the building. You know what I'm saying? Because he even lied publicly saying the first time he was told to leave, he left or whatever, and that wasn't cool. He just didn't think this Hispanic man and this black man in these red overalls were police officers. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so when I got that.
You asked him to leave, though, bro. Why did you not go and speak to him? Like, and again, I hold all the adults responsible. Mama, daddy, the baby shaking minister of justice. I hold all of them responsible. The dad should have said, hold on, wait, that's the dad? Oh, we got to go. No, why didn't the dad take the lead on this? Why did the dad not take the point on this? And you already know the man is forgiving y'all. He's here to pray. Can we at least talk to him first? Because now y'all want to talk, but it's too late. Now y'all want to appeal, but it's too late. You could have talked. You could have appealed right then and there. This is going to be studied by science. I guarantee you, in some real law school in the future, they're going to be looking at this case and look at all the missteps. And I'm sorry, this is going to be part of it. Don't have no baby shaking minister of justice be your spokesman or spokeswoman for your for your 19-year-old who's killed somebody. Maybe you need a real lawyer.
Called that they said no, he cannot be there. They cannot interact. Now, mind you, the
For
Anthony
what?
family do not know he's there. He never saw them. You know what I'm saying? They're in a secured area. He can't get through there. And I tell people all the time, it's not like we lack the security. Like we had at least a 9-member security team. We could have got him out of there, Rain, in no time. So I delayed the press conference and literally had DPD escort him out. You know what I'm saying?
Did he have a weapon on him?
It was a side thing that people were identifying, saying that it may have been a weapon. We never confirmed because I never came up to him, right? You know what I'm saying? All I did is pause, and then many people are telling him, "Sir, can you just leave? Can you walk with us? Get away from me. Get away from me. Get away from me." Like it was people. I never went up to him.
Why? But the fact that the positioning of yourselves as the victim versus recognizing that you, Dominique, are representing the perpetrator, the one that has committed the crime. Yeah, y'all. All I'm hearing is how bad Jeff is for coming. Forget the fact that you've never mentioned that Karmelo killed his son. That's crazy work, man. But you could not see because again, you're not supposed to be there. You are the liability. You're not supposed to be on the team. Last night, the Knicks won last night. I don't watch professional sports like that, but the Knicks won last night. I think it's fair to say that every member of the Knicks team that was on that court was vital and important. They could not have somebody on there. They couldn't go get the popcorn vendor to suit up and be on the team. They couldn't go get the baby shaking water boy to be on the team. They needed 5 members on the team that were dialed in to win this championship. Dominique is the water boy. Dominique is the popcorn vendor. Dominique is the guy in the parking lot hawking stolen tickets. But sir, you're not the one that needed to be on the team. They needed a Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen. They needed a Steph Curry. They needed a LeBron James on the team. You were filling a role that you weren't supposed to be in. And that's why Carmelo Anthony is now comfortable in wherever he is, inmate number whatever, looking down the barrel of 3.5 decades because you should not have been there.
But then I just started telling people, hey, don't say nothing to him. And then we going. So does this sound like the man that literally just said on this video, I'm coming to pray, and then you feel like you go into, is this white privilege where you think you go into a facility, you don't say nothing to nobody, you don't introduce yourself, you don't say nobody's name, what you thought was gonna happen? Did you think that my security team,
He wanted to say something to the family.
they don't know him?
Or you? Why,
They
did,
never-
did you walk down and try to speak to him?
I'm right there.
Yeah.
If he wanted to say something to me, I don't know. Remember,
Yeah.
I don't know who he is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If he wanted to say, they don't know who he is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So with that being said, like, what were we?
That's what I'm saying. But again, and I'm please check out the video that the lead attorney did back in July of last year. He explained what happened at that press conference and how the baby shaking minister of justice dropped the ball and literally guaranteed Carmelo Anthony would get 20 plus years. He said it back in July of last year. And it is everything he said came right to fruition in the year of our Lord 2026. And the baby shaking minister of justice is the reason why Carmelo Anthony is inmate number whatever, looking at 3.5 decades.
Supposed to do when we don't even know who this man is.
Right. Okay.
They never saw him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like, they would have came there and like, what you thought when the family was walking behind the conference or whatever, and when the cameras turned on, that you were gonna rush yourself up to the podium?
You think so?
I don't know, but it was gonna be a disaster because I had security. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's going like
Yeah.
it wasn't gonna be a good thing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I rather
Or
the image.
you could have just walked up to the man again, like the victim, treating yourselves like y'all are the victim. That's some nasty work. Or you could have said, "Wait, that's Jeff Metcalf. Let's go talk to him. Let me go talk to him." But you're not wise, baby shaking minister of justice. You're not intelligent. You're not dialed in. You don't know what to do. You have no business being on this team. You're used to selling popcorn and stolen tickets in the parking lot. You don't need to be on the basketball court because the Knicks wouldn't have won with you on the court. And Carmelo did not win with you on the team.
That it have then than the image that he thought when he was gonna approach. Cause you know, when I hire security, you know what I mean, I don't tell them to, you know, don't ask questions later. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Be
right.
like, what's called like,
Right.
hey, you come, you see me around security, you better hey, I already gave him, bro. We'll fight it later on. We get attorney, we get bailed out, whatever it may be. You know what I'm saying? So that would have been a natural disaster.
So one thing I've learned being around persons who are in security, very rarely do they brag about security. They very rarely brag about, because nobody wants to do the things that they have to do. Nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to do it. So they don't brag about it because they don't want to do it. They don't want to do what has to be done to make sure that the person that they're there to protect gets home safely. They don't want to do that. They don't brag about it. So for him to be talking about it so flippant and cavalier, oh, we'll take care of it on the back end. Nobody does that. Nobody does that. And I know I've joked about it sometimes too, but in retrospect, I realize how inappropriate that is for me to joke about it, because I know what needs to happen, what would happen, right? Yeah, these people didn't care about that boy. They saw Carmelo Anthony as a big old bag of money, and that's it. And they yeah, that's it, man. I have to say, man, I feel bad that Carmelo Anthony did not have people really caring about him. Because anybody that really cared about him, if they didn't have this baby shaking minister of justice on the team, but they had a legal expert who was wise, who was discerning, who recognized what's going on, Carmelo Anthony would have copped a plea and he'd have been, whatever would have happened, would have happened. They would have got on there with Jeff Metcalf. They would have prayed with him. They would have done all that. They would not have gone the path that they went, which is clearly the path of losing the NBA finals, right? They went down the path of having the popcorn vendor on the team, and look what happened. There's no, truth be told, I don't even think they even had good members on the team, because his mom and dad dropped the ball too. But this is embarrassing. This is so sad, because again, nothing good came from this at all.
If he would have waited in that moment and we didn't know. But mind you, I only knew who he was by the reporter. You get what I'm saying?
But the people feel like you could have did something.
I'm not a lawyer. What they want me to do? I ain't no lawyer. That's one thing. That's one thing out of this equation.
That's why you shouldn't have been there. That's why you should not have been there. A lawyer should have been there. Michael Jordan needed to be on the floor. Scottie Pippen on the floor. They don't need the hot dog vendor. They need the cotton candy vendor on the floor. They need Michael Jordan on the floor. They need somebody who knows how to win games on the floor. Because Michael Jordan, proverbial Michael Jordan, aka a lawyer, a legal mind, would have said, "Wait, an opportunity has opened up for us to slam dunk this ball and get Carmelo Anthony back out of the crosshairs and into a better spot." That's what a smart legal mind would have said. But you over here, baby shaking minister of justice, you don't know your left hand from your right. You clearly don't know how to put doggone lotion on. So you get in here and you mess the entire thing up. Jeff Metcalf brought you a giant W, and you somehow or another took that W and did some origami and turned it into 35 years guilty, 35 years in jail.
I can help find him a house. I can help secure the baby, walk him out the jail myself. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I can stand up and speak for them in the way that I did. But one thing I can't be is a lawyer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I can't go in front of no judge and say, Judge, I want a motion for dismiss. He gonna look at me. You know what I'm saying?
So
I can't prepare no brief.
and I'm glad you said something about the judge, because I keep hearing this theory that they edit the video, the picture on the news. Is that true?
The video was altered, and the video was very limited from versions of videos that I myself went to go see, and also what other people went to go see.
I'm gonna say this real quick about the video, and this is again why I think that the trial should have been live streamed. Now you're gonna have the mystery video story. I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen. This is what's gonna happen. There are gonna be people who say, "I saw the video." Austin Metcalf came off the top rope. He gave him an atomic elbow. He suplexed him. Austin came in and gave him a stone cold stunner. And they're gonna say, that's what I saw on the video. And we're gonna say, well, the video that they showed in the in the trial didn't show that. Well, that was the edited video. But see, I saw the real video. And this is gonna go on forever. It's just gonna be whatever. Because everybody's gonna say, "Oh, I saw the video, and I saw Austin. He was swinging around like GI Joe with a kung fu grip, throwing a knife at people, taking them out left and right." Well, that's not what the video we saw. Oh, well, see, that was the edited video. I saw the real video. This is gonna go on forever, this is it. This is exactly why, and it don't matter. They could come out with every body cam could come out unedited body cam, and people will still say, "Oh, I saw a different one. It was a different video." So so let him go, because that's what's gonna happen.
It was able to identify there was multiple different people in front of Karmelo.
In front or
They standing over him. They standing over him. He's sitting down.
but how many people assaulted him?
You can't see that from the camera because you can just see them in front of them. They're standing in front of them. The camera is behind them. You get what I'm saying?
What did Karmelo say happened?
But he was not only hit, he was pushed. You know what I mean?
So he was actually struck,
Yes.
punched,
Yes.
and he was pushed.
So you can see that he got punched. You can see that multiple people were there, but you don't see that they all attacked him. Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Yes.
Is that considered self-defense?
Yeah, it's considered self-defense when you assault me, because Texas law says I don't have to return equal force. Stand
No, it
your
doesn't.
ground.
No, it does not say that. It does not say that. You cannot meet a punch with a stab. I mean,
You get to hit somebody and you think that person ain't able to defend themselves. If I hit your ass right now, then you think you what's got in the camera recording and I hit you, they gonna arrest. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So why? So what did y'all do not to get this case changed, this verdict changed? Because if it's on camera that people are hitting him, is it?
again, I think this host, he's not a bad question. He's not a bad interviewer, in my opinion. He's jumping around, but he's not actually a bad interviewer. And he's asking some good questions. The problem is he's not asking developmental and secondary questions, which I think would be very helpful.
If it's on camera that we've heard that he fell down the bleachers
Do I think? Listen, do I think that this case would have been indicted or went this far in Dallas County? I believe not.
Right.
But
What's that
this
got to
is
do with
Collin
anything?
County,
Right.
and
So the issue is not that Carmelo stabbed the boy, because he still has not brought that up, by the way. It's not that, it's just where he did it. I'm sorry, where the trial was. It was in Collin County. That's bad. But if it was in Dallas, they would have threw him a parade and ran him up out of there. Let him go home that day. But no, they did in Collin County. So the real issue is in Collin County, not the fact that the boy stabbed somebody and actually admitted and attested to it. Nope, that's not the issue. The issue is where the venue of the trial. That's the issue.
everybody can ask those questions. But I'm gonna say this again: it's Collin County. You know what I'm saying? It's not Dallas. The city of Dallas, for many people that look at this, because I have to explain it, the city of Dallas is in Dallas County. Frisco, McKinney is in Collin County. That is a northern county on top of Dallas County.
Right. Right.
It's two different kind of Americas, and you know that, Frank. You know what I'm saying? It's two
Right.
different kind. You know what I mean? We pray to Jesus in the Holy Trinity. These guys pray to Jesus and Trump. You know what I'm saying? Like, like this is
Wow. Wow. So the only reason Carmelo was found guilty is because people pray to Trump. Okay. All right.
like it ain't no like. What are we saying here? What are we talking about? You
And
know?
so is it true that all his friends changed they?
I don't think that all of his friends testified,
But
right?
did the people that testified, did they change their statements?
Yes, those kids changed their statements. The ones that the prosecutor brought up, they changed their
And
statements.
the
Yeah.
lawyer didn't object nothing.
I believe there were a few times that I was told that the lawyer did object to certain things,
Right.
but at the end of the day, there weren't because there were something that the and I say there was something that I was able to see where they called they called it murderous, some term that they used that they said it was the judge ruled that it was in the indictment, but the lawyer objected. But there are a lot of people that are saying that the lawyer didn't object enough to
Yeah.
things or whatever, right? But there were one thing that but at the end of the day, the case in
He
regards
cooked.
to
At the end of the
how
day,
those kids came and the prosecutors brought them up, you know, I felt like when the defense got it, the case that I knew of, the evidence, the things that I knew of, I thought that was going to be displayed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
then why didn't here's this. So let's just say that everybody, so you want me to believe that, I think it was, don't quote me on this, I want to say it was 18 high schoolers were witnesses for the prosecution and defense, a total of 18. Somehow or another, you got 18 high schoolers to all lie. Okay. All of them to lie, right? But you submitted no evidence to support your alleged claim that he was jumped and he was in self defense. You do realize that there was no evidence of self defense, none whatsoever. No evidence that he was jumped. Y'all, you clearly just said right here that the video doesn't show it. So there's no evidence to that point, but everybody lied and changed their story. All 18 or however many young high schoolers got up there and just lied. Okay. All right. I mean, that makes perfect sense. I totally believe that that happened just like that. It makes perfect sense. Yeah, this is going to be wow. Let's go.
The stuff that go after the character, the things, the cheerleaders. It was a viral video the other day where somebody said something about the cheerleaders all filed a complaint against these twins. That's true. I talked to I personally talked to one of the parents. You know what I'm saying? And
Well, why did you not have any character witnesses of your own? Why were there no teachers? Y'all could have brought teachers up. Y'all could have brought his doctor if he has epilepsy. You could have brought his doctor, his coach, because he had a shoulder issue. If you're trying to say that, oh, he had a shoulder issue, hence why he wouldn't have been able to stab him, then why did you not do that? Where was his character witnesses for you? Where were they? If you were only relying on the however many high schools that you said and alleged that they all lied, where were the, as I asked the question earlier, was the doctor in the court and they just didn't call him up? Was the coach there and you just didn't call him up? Like, or did y'all not have him? That's the question I asked.
Told him, I said, hey, I'm going to have to pass you over to an investigator for you to talk, because you can't talk to me, because you know why? Why am I trained to not talk to these people even further than what they are? Because when you go to a trial, the person that has to go in there and talk about what you told them by a sworn declaration. So say if you tell me something right here, I'm gonna put an investigator in front of you, because if you change your mind and you don't want to what's called, that investigator with those credentials are the one that can go on the stand and testify to what you said. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So guess what?
You can't do it.
I ain't do it. You know what I'm saying?
And two more questions. Outside, all the black people outside. I seen a video of a dude doing a rack daddy in front of a white guy, and then like he was dancing after having a time. Did the black community hurt the case inside?
I don't think so. I think that the even when I came in, I came out and talked about it. I talked about it from context that you had white supremacists showing up
But they came ready for war.
To edge on.
But they
the black
came
people.
ready for war.
That wasn't the case.
Every black person had their hands out and phones out.
Rain, that wasn't the case.
They had bulletproof vests on.
They was ready. Those were Black Panthers, brother. They do that.
No, the white guys had the black.
The white guys had the vests and
yeah,
all that. They do that.
They was ready to go to war.
I know, and that's why they were edging on the black people. They were going on the sides where the black people were, deliberately edging them on, doing different
Why
things.
was the man dancing in front of the white guy?
I don't know about that. I can't speak
Did you see
about
it?
everybody.
Did you see it?
You know, I saw a whole bunch of foolishness. You know what I'm saying?
So it was a bunch of fooling from the black
But I
community.
cannot. I can't speak for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't speak for everybody.
But have you
and
ever
that was
just
his way of antagonizing.
But what have you just sit there and say, "What the fuck are we doing?"
You know, I've
I mean,
said
that's
that
a good
plenty of
question.
times. You know what I mean? Like,
I wouldn't mind, and he's not going to do it, but I wouldn't mind the host actually asking, okay, let's go back to the money. How much did they spend on the attorney? Like, in your understanding, how much did they spend on security? How much did they spend on other ancillaries? Because again, there's still like 500,000 is missing from this equation. If they spent 75, and I'm just going to round it up to 100,000 on the defense. What are we doing? And then I also would ask, why did Karmelo? I would ask him, why do you think Karmelo did not take the stand? Those are the two questions I wish the host would ask.
You know, sometimes we very interesting people.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
And sometimes I'd be like, bro, do we got to do that? Do we have to say that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you have to correct it. Kind of like when that viral video come of the judge and the dad, and it was like, okay, y'all, I get it, y'all trying to get to it, but y'all stretching it with this picture.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a lot of
Oh, so
stuff.
the judge and the dad was never in the picture together.
That picture wasn't that judge and that daddy. I don't know, and that's not me saying that the daddy didn't know the judge. I don't know,
But that wasn't him.
that wasn't it. You know what I'm saying?
And the last question: do they have him in PC in prison?
Now his classification is being held private right now. You know what I'm saying? For security purposes.
Do the guy's uncle own the prison?
No.
He's the warden.
No, that was when it was being reported that he was going to Bird Unit.
Right.
Bird Unit, there's a Metcalf individual that is the warden. He's in the PAC unit.
So all these is just a bunch of.
Hey man, you better than me, man.
Yeah.
I you know, I tell people all the time, you know, NGAN is a human and civil rights organization.
Right.
So we got other people that call us all day long.
Yeah.
That they when they call there, they call for Dominique Alexander. And so I can't keep up with the fact that Rain, this has happened when I turned 20, when I was 25 years old and I started this organization, you would have to look at what the media reporting, make sure you correct them and all that type of stuff or whatever and all that. But now you gotta do that and watch all of the bloggers and the
Bullshit.
clickbait and
Bullshit.
all the rest of the algorithms. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And
You really
then
don't have to.
You gotta know whether those people exist. And because I'm not in that world, or I don't go in there, and I'm not on TikTok like that, or YouTube or whatever, you gotta know those platforms exist. It's like
You don't
people
have to.
saying, "Oh, they say, man, who the hell is they? Can you tell me the platform so
Yeah.
can I can correct it?"
You don't have to. You really don't have to. You don't. I mean, you're just chasing phantoms at that point. The case is in the courthouse. The case is with the lawyers. But see, you would have imagine again. I'm just going to go back again and say, imagine if he had not kicked Jeff Metcalf out, but they worked with Jeff Metcalf at that very key, pivotal moment and worked with him. Imagine what he wouldn't be chasing those phantoms. He wouldn't be chasing after, you know, ghosts in the shell. Let's go.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like, can you tell me the platform so I can at least go on there? I'll send them an email and have my team email them and say, hey, man, I'll take whatever questions you have.
Or is he allowed to have he talked to his mother?
I have talked to his mother.
I mean, have he talked to his mother?
Yeah, he has talked to his parents.
Oh, since being in prison.
Yeah.
How do you feel about him surviving prison?
That's a hard answer. I'd rather not even, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, you think
That right there is a very touchy situation that I've kind of, to keep my peace, kind of strayed away from
thinking about it?
just thinking about it. You know what I'm saying? Because that, like, for the last couple of days, it ain't been about, for me, it ain't been about what people are saying about me. It's been about this image, this, you know what I'm saying? Because, like I say, I know Carmelo Anthony. You know what I mean?
Because the judge said that the streets are safer now.
I got something for that judge. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
what's
The judge
that's
said-
a low down son of a bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, like that's my opinion of that judge.
And when is the appeal?
The appeal, the family is going and meeting with appeals attorneys and all that type of stuff, and going through that proper process or whatever. And you know, that's pretty much it. But
How long will it take?
you never know with an appeal.
So could he be in prison 5 years before the appeal?
He could, an appeal could last as long as that process lasts. When you go in front of an appeals court, their response to whatever you presented in front of them does not have a timetable of their response. I've had appeals courts where they responded in 3 months. I've had appeals courts where they responded in a year and a half.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's their prerogative.
If you can bet your last dime, do you think he would beat this case? I mean, do you think he would beat Humphrey?
We will win. We will win, and I hope that people believe it. We're gonna win.
Hey, y'all stay supporting. Y'all keep supporting.
For
We
what
got-
though? What is the basis that you make that claim? What is the basis that you make that claim? I'm sorry, Yolanda, I'm here. Listen to what you are saying. Mr. Metcalf lost his son. He attended the killer press release. You said they should have let him stay. You do not, I think you mean no, the mindset he had. You need a producer. I need a producer. Do I? I got producer Jason. I thought he did a pretty decent job. I appreciate it. Uh yeah, okay. Okay, Yolanda, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I disagree with you wholeheartedly, but you know, I mean, it is what it is. Yeah, I don't know what they're supporting them for. That's crazy work, man. That is some diabolical 4K work right there, though. But you know who's not diabolical? We got the stream sponsor. Gene Lee said, Jason, will you put my water bill in your name? Thank you so much for that, Gene. No, I'm not going to put your water bill in my name. That was the blackest thing I had ever heard mentioned. Good gracious. I hurt your feelings. I'm sorry. But I appreciate you being the stream sponsor. Absolutely. If my child could 100% get off, I'd pay the full 600K the Anthony family raised and then some. Right. Thank you so much, Introspective, for the 5. I don't understand. Like, where did the money go? Is the question. If they said it, and again, I don't know how much they paid him. Who knows? But if money was the issue, why did they not make the payment? Thank you again. So, who is he blaming? The black attorneys who said no? The white lawyer who lost? Who is he attempting to take the rap for this? I don't know. That's why I said I don't think he's trying to help the Anthonys at all, in my opinion. But let me know. Thank you again for that. What do you say, Jesus Freak? I hope Austin's family ends making a positive bond with Carmelo and fix all the damage his parents have done in how they raised this young man. I mean, there's some great things that could still come out of this. Christ can still be honored and glorified in this. I just think that the wrong people have been in the way and have really messed this up pretty bad, in my opinion. But yeah. Shout out to Willie Doc, my brother from another. Dominique is putting just enough distance to try to keep from catching flack and his culpability in all this. It ain't working. It ain't working. But thank you so much, Willie Doc. I appreciate the 5, brother. Thank you so much. Michelle says this with the 5. All lawyers knew he was guilty. I'm trying to say, I don't think black lawyers, or rather attorneys, wanted to take the case because they knew that they would have been blamed and called names. Shout out. I'm right there with you. Appreciate it. Thank you. What's the Klansman say? Dominique Alexander is going to be my next me. I'm going to make fun of. This is Eric Smith. This parody is making fun of Tariq Nasheed. Thank you so much, man. Tariq Nasheed he's an interesting fellow. I don't keep up with him much. So yes, continue to make fun of him, sir. Thank you so much for the 5. And what'd you say here again, Michelle? Kicking a peaceful person out of a prayer vigil, we knew he was at the press conference, is a very bad look. And that's the point that I'm making. Like, how did that benefit? Okay, fine. You had security. You've already told us you had security. So we know nothing would have went south. You had police as well as paid security there. So why kick him out? Why not give him an opportunity to see what's going on? If he acts a fool, how's that going to work against you? If he complies and is gracious and kind because he had already forgiven y'all, how does that work against you? I think the only thing that they chose, the only thing that worked against them, which was kicking Jeff Metcalf out of the press conference. Prove me wrong. Asking as a black man, not a homely wife. How weird is that backdrop? That backdrop was kind of strange. It definitely, look, I've had some background upheavals in times past, so I don't pick on people about their background, but I do think that background was kind of wild. Shout out for sure. What'd you say, Mike? When all else fails, Trump's fault. I mean, really, how did Trump get brought into this? That was some wild work. That was a wild work. Thank you so much, Amethyst. Dominique got the PR cert from the Candispiracy Junior College of Successful Grifting. It would have been a compromise to have an audio stream of the trial. Use 7-second delay to bleep out juveniles' names. I could rock with that. That probably wouldn't have been the worst thing that they've done. I could get with that. Yeah, that's not bad. Too late at this point. There's a lot of stuff they should have done. But one thing for sure is we got to give Amethyst a shout out for being a member for 25 months. Thank you so much for supporting the stream. I'm waiting for bated breath for the transcripts to be released. Then we will have a 4 or 3 hour live stream for sure. Maybe collab with Robert. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. We will be going over that. I'm gonna have to tag team with somebody for that one, though, for sure. What'd you say here again? He's not using the shovel to dig the Anthony appeal ditch. He's using the Kawasaki excavator. Keep digging, Dominique. Yeah, he did not do them a favor at all. He needs to stop doing podcasts. Stop interviewing. Just stop. But Patrina, she don't need to stop. Shout out to the 5. I appreciate the producer, Jason. He does a great job. I appreciate it. Did she ever explain why I need a producer? I want to know. Like, why do I need a producer? Did she ever explain? Let me see. Oh, wait, here we go. Did you say? Hold on a second. Yes, he would have, and the judge still would have done the same. Collin County is notorious for this. Okay. How do you all know he was peaceful? You do not know if he had a weapon. If the roles were reversed, I would dare show up at a press release. Okay. How do you know that he wasn't peaceful? Has he shown anything that would make you think that he was unpeaceful? Maybe the mentioning that he forgave him. Maybe he's standing there. If he was trying to be unpeaceful, why would he stand there and draw attention to himself? Why not try to blend in if he was going to be unpeaceful and do something, since you're assuming something about him? Like, why do we want to do that? I guess. I mean, if that's what rocks with you, then rock on. I guess. I don't know why one would want to do that though. If he wanted to be unpeaceful, he could have just come in and been unpeaceful, right? Why are you criticizing him? He might be new at doing the podcast. Maybe he's not an expert like you. Oh, I just said I've had many mistakes of my own. I don't know if you're listening to what I'm saying. Is my audio on? Green hearts in the chat if my audio's on. I literally said I don't mess with people about their background. I've had mistakes of my own. I know I said that. Good gracious, man. Gosh. I do not assume anything. That's the private venue and not public. Okay. I mean, and hey, they made the decision. But I think we all can agree that if they had not kicked him out of there, things may have been different for Carmelo. Is that a lap too far, Yolanda? You said you should not do any more interviews. How about this one, Yolanda? How about you hop on? I haven't done this in a while. I'm gonna drop the link in the chat. Yolanda, hop in because I don't want to keep. I want to get the fullness of what you're talking about. I'm dropping the link for you, Yolanda. Please hop on. All I ask is that you have your camera on, that we don't use any profanity, and that we or spicy language, and that we stay on topic. But I would love to hear what you're going to say. Now, I am asking you to come on. So usually when I ask people to come on, that actually means you have to come on. So yeah, go ahead and do that. Things would not have been different. The jury made the decision. Okay. All right. Hey, not a problem. So I dropped the link for you, Yolanda. I'll just put it right here again. I would love for you to help me out here. Give me a second. Okay. That's fine. I'm gonna make sure that link is there for you. Because I want to hear this, make sure I got this correct. Shout out to the best live chat on the internet. All you gotta do is click that link, Yolanda. Looking forward to meeting somebody new. Got somebody new in the meeting today. That's gonna be fun. What's going on? All right, let me see real quick. Looking forward to Yolanda putting on another top, hopping on very quickly. We're gonna have a good conversation. That should be a good one. I'm waiting too. Should be a good conversation. I am looking forward to it. The neither producer comment. Hold on, let's see. The neither producer comment was probably in regards to keeping you up with chat, looking things up, etc., feeding you info, making your life easier on stream. Okay, I can rock with that. With Christopher, I can rock with that. The bad thing is, I actually like kind of being kind of cattywampus over here. I've gotten so used to it now. This is year 5. I've gotten so used to it, man. I'm actually pretty good at it. So, but no, I can rock with that. I can rock with that. All right, what we got, Yolanda? Where are you? All right, let me see. Let me see. All right, while we are, yeah, I'm waiting for Yolanda to come on through here. Real quick, I'm going to point out something, and this is going to be where I land as it relates to why I believe, and I've mentioned this in my video. Shout out to the lead attorney, where I discussed the lead attorney's assessment of the Carmelo Anthony situation. So I'm gonna just pull this in very quickly, and it's Matthew chapter 5. And to me, again, this is Christ giving admonishment to those persons who are in Christ, who are Christians, but there's a lot that can be learned and gleaned from here, and that's why I think that that's why I believe that Carmelo Anthony's team dropped the ball. I'm back. I did not put on. That's fine. Let's go. That's fine, Yolanda. I appreciate it. Come on, hit the button. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. All right. So what did he say? What did Christ say? You have heard that it was said to the of old, you shall not murder, and whoever murders is liable of judgment. But I say to you, whoever is angry with his brother will be liable of judgment. Whoever insults his brother will be liable of the council. Whoever says, you fool, will be liable of hell, of fire. So if you are offering your gift at the altar, and there remember that your brother has something against you, leave your gift there before the altar and go. First be reconciled to your brother, and then come and offer your gift. Come to terms quickly with your accuser while you are going with him to court, lest your accuser hand you over to the judge, and the judge to the guard, and the guard puts you in prison. Truly I say to you, you will never get out until you have paid the last penny. I'm not trying to baptize the Anthonys and say that they're Christian. I know the Metcalfs have made a profession of faith, but what I'm trying to say here is pretty clear. You see what he says. Come to terms quickly with your accuser while you while you're going with him to court. So it is very possible and very reasonable to say that the Anthonys could have salved this over literally before it became what it is today. Does that mean that Carmelo would not have gone to jail? Nope. Does that mean that he wouldn't have gotten any punishment? No, not necessarily. But what do we do? What we do know is that it would have done a whole lot better than lest your accuser hand you over to the judge and the judge over to the guard and you be put in prison. Yeah, where did Yolanda go? Yolanda, are you still there? Did you hit that button? Let me hit that button. Drop that link again. There you go. All you got to do is hit the link, Yolanda. It's right there. There it is. Just click on it and you will be brought on the screen. On the screen. I'd love to hear what is the issue at hand. Oh, it's a sad case all the way around. I agree 100%. It's sad all the way around, Marys. I agree with you. I just wonder if things could have been better. And again, like for everybody, the Anthonys, the Metcalfs, the Collin County, Dallas area, Frisco, Texas area, and everybody else who's at each other's throat over this story. Would it have been better if they had not kicked that man out of that press conference and actually prayed with him? So is that Mike up in the building? What's going on, White Label Consulting? What's happening, man? How are you, man? Uh, I don't know. I'm sitting right here. Everybody, I dropped the link, and you have access. Doo-doo-doo. I mean, grab it again. I mean, all you gotta do is click on the link. So anyway, while we're waiting for Yolanda, I would hope for you to be able to come on. Um, Here we go. We got Yolanda in the building. Grace and peace to you. How are you, young lady?
Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on.
Not a problem.
Caught me. I'm sorry. Cooking.
Mm-mm. Not a problem. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right. There she is. How are you?
I'm sorry, y'all. I didn't put no makeup on, but I'm fine. Yes, sir.
That's okay. And you're perfectly fine. I appreciate you stopping on. So we were in the chat, and I said that I believe that Carmelo's case would have been different.
Wait a minute. It's an
Go ahead.
echo. It's an echo. I hear you twice.
Okay. You have one of your speakers, your list. You have a speaker on, or a microphone, double microphone. And I'm just gonna. Okay, you're
I
mute.
have it's on my laptop, so I have my microphone.
Okay, not a problem. How's that sound? Do I sound?
Yes, that's
Okay.
bad.
So we're in the comments, and I said that I believe that Carmelo's situation would have been better if they had a real lawyer, a legal expert, pastor, lawmaker, elected official be their spokesperson and not Dominique Alexander. Do you agree with that, or do you think that that was too much?
Well, Well, let me just say this because I live in Dallas, Texas, and so I don't speak for anyone. I know Dominique, and sometimes we agree and disagree. So he have done a lot of great things, standing on the front line for civil rights and being an activist when no one else want to stand up. But
Okay.
because I used to be a paralegal and I have a degree in criminal justice and a
Mhm.
master in marketing, I always think that it's important to have a spokesperson. It's not so much as you have to be educated, it's just that you have to know what to say and what not to say. So
Mhm.
that's where, and maybe sometimes, the way we say things that come across hard, but that's okay. But yes, he could have benefited from an actual spokesperson. It don't have to be a politician or anyone, but someone in that profession, who is good with PR because you have to think fast on your feet. You got to know what to say, what not to say, because once you say it, it's out there. So, I agree with you on that.
Okay. And so and hence why I said a pastor, a community. I said a community activist with no baggage. I said elected politician because I want them to be able to speak. Because if you were standing there or I were standing there as a spokesman or spokeswoman for the Anthony family, and somebody says, "Hey, by the way, you do know that Jeff Metcalf is in here," they do have to think fast on their feet and be like, "Wait, this is an opportunity that is not going to come back again." If we, because we already know he's already forgiven Carmelo. He's already in that position. Can we maximize this to get Carmelo less time rather than kick him out? And that's all I'm pointing out is that kicking him out did them no good. Does that make sense? Kicking him out didn't do them any solids.
Well, I think with the climate and where we're at, and with everything. Oh, sorry, I'm sorry.
You okay?
Okay, it's an echo, so that's why I stopped. I
Oh,
think where
yeah. Are
we're
you
at
on
in the.
YouTube? Do you have the YouTube still up? Because it might be YouTube as
Oh
well.
yes, you're
Yeah,
right. Okay.
yeah, mute YouTube. You got me in live and living color.
Uh-huh. Okay,
There we
you're
go.
right.
There we go.
Okay, thank you.
No
I
problem.
think the climate that we're in, and I'm not talking about no president and all that, because I fight locally. I don't ever go federal and state because my issues is always local. That we're in, you just can never be too safe, And I'm just saying he's angry. He has every right to be angry. He lost his son. We don't know the mindset. And then I'm in Dallas, so I'm just saying the mindset of us. I didn't attend the press release, so we don't know the mindset of us. And that's the last little bit that we need is a confrontation or something to take place. Now, me personally, if you ask me, I could never do it and show up because, I don't know what that was about, but I would never. Some people said he had a gun. I don't know. I didn't see the gun. So it just could have ended up badly. And it was a private, that's a private venue anyway. So that's
Mhm.
the only reason why I said that I would not have put my place because you don't know the mindset of the people that was in the press release with for Carmelo Anthony. So it could have just, I just think as an adult, we all have grieved. We may not have grieved like this, but at some point, someone has to, think and say, wait a minute. And that's just, if you don't mind me saying this, like with racism. I didn't grow up rich. I grew up with a structure, a grandmother who was a widow, and a mother and father who taught us that we could have everything that we wanted to have if we work hard. I'm from what you call Pleasant Grove, Texas. My
Okay.
sister was a police officer for 34 years. I tell people, I don't bleed black. I bleed blue because when she put on that uniform, she's retired now. She don't get to turn her head and say, I can look out for black. So I struggled to get my education. So I didn't grow up blaming a white man. So a lot of people say, oh, you conservative. No, I'm not conservative. I'm just have a mindset where you're not going to put me in that same category. And I think we have to be the change. If I see you being racist and you black, it's my job to call you out and pull you to the side. But just because we don't agree, that doesn't mean that, you're racist. Just like with some of the things I just found you, honestly, I've never heard of you or anything. I was just
Oh,
surfing through
okay,
YouTube and said, oh, he seemed like this gonna be good. And I appreciate you even giving me the opportunity to chime in, because that's what some people do not do. They sit behind the keyboard and that's it. So I agree with you. Yes, I think everyone going forward need a spokesperson, a professional, a PR.
I agree.
And
So
let
let
me
me.
tell you about the money. I was gonna send it to you because the lady
Oh,
said
please.
that the email. She sent me your email address. Now I pride myself in facts. You can follow me on Truth Without Apology. I'm a factual person. Now I did see the press release. Did you see the press release go out? They put out a statement regarding the funds. Did you
I've
get a
not,
copy?
but I
Okay,
have not. But go
I'll
ahead.
make sure I give you a copy of that. And in
Okay.
that, it did say that the money can be used for relocation, housing. They specify what it could be used for, because you know how some people were saying they would use the money for this and for that. But I'll make sure you get a copy of
Now,
that.
okay, now that I have seen. So I do
Okay.
want to let me address a couple of things because you,
Okay.
you brought up a lot of good points. But I did see that. Now I understand the whole they can use the money for however they want to use it, but then you can't be upset. Like let's just say it's 600,000. If you use 100 toward
Mhm.
his defense, and then the 500 you use in some other ways, you can't be upset and say we didn't have adequate counsel.
I'm with
In
you
my
on that.
opinion, then you should have done that. But let me go back to one of the things real quick because I realized that reading the live chat oftentimes I don't understand how somebody comes across. And sometimes I come across harsh or I might translate it as harsh. And I'm like, well, that's why don't we just come on and have a conversation? Because I didn't think that I was fully understanding your position, Yolanda. And hence I didn't want to be like over here being foul and, saying, whatever. And in actuality, it's just the fact I'm reading it a different way. Hence why I asked you to come on, because I didn't think that we were that far apart, and I was like, why don't you just come on real quick? And so that's why I asked you to come on. So I'm glad that you found us. I'm glad it's your first time coming on. And you're always welcome to come on through. And you can definitely email me anything that you wanted to email.
Can I ask you where you based out of? Where you from? Where you at located?
I'm here in Atlanta.
Oh, okay, Atlanta. Well, let me just tell you this. I'm going to send you an email anytime you really want the truth to anything. I pride myself in that. It really is politics, and I don't get off into all that Trump stuff and all that, because that's not my issue. So
I
I
got
just want to say thank you. And I know you have a producer because I can see how things are flowing, but I had to give it to you
you.
the way you gave it, so you could see, just so I could get the invite. See, that was a smart
Oh, no.
marketing
Is that it?
strategy.
Oh, you was,
Yeah. Yeah.
oh,
See,
you got me. You got me.
got that master in marketing, and that was
I
a
love it.
smart marketing move.
You can't insult a producer, Jason, because I'm my producer.
You your own producer?
Hold on, let me get my producer on real quick so you can meet my producer. Hold on one second. I'm gonna introduce you to my
Yeah, I
producer.
need to make sure you really have a
Look,
producer.
there I am. There he is right there. Shout out to producer
Oh
Jason.
my God, you your own producer.
It's me.
Well, I
It's
tell you
me.
what, you're doing a great job. I'm gonna send you my information, but all jokes aside, if you probably have a copy of everything with this Texas and what's going on, I'm just a couple of counties right up the street. I will make sure you get everything that you need. And you know what? Seriously, why don't you invite Dominique on yourself and
I'm,
interview him?
you know what? I would let me tell you, I got no problem with it. I've already expressed the concerns that I had about
Hmm.
Dominique not being because I want to go back to the point that the last point from what you said. I just truly believe, all jokes aside, I have no reason. I'm going to give people the benefit of the doubt, kind of like I gave you the benefit. I'm like, I don't know if I'm understanding Yolanda. Let me have Yolanda come on, rather than think that this is adversarial. I'm going to give you the benefit, and I think we've had a good conversation. Is that fair?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I didn't think that you were gonna come in here and act a fool. You're gonna cuss me out, talk bad about my mom or anything of that nature. I said, let me just have her come on. That's the exact same way I would have probably if I was a spokesperson for the Anthonys and I knew that Dominique that Jeff Metcalf was there, and I already know that he has forgiven Karmelo. He's already shown that he's extended the olive branch. I would have thought this is a monumentous moment to maybe change this whole thing. Because a lot of the stuff that we're talking about now, the climate and the way the world is now post Carmelo Anthony sentencing, I believe would have lost all of its steam if they had just met with that man and said, hey, we were going to have a press conference, y'all, but an opportunity has come to seek some clarity, and we're going to cancel this press conference. We'll get back to you. And they met with the man and prayed with that man and got it. And again, if you need to have security there, whatever. Mm-hmm. But I don't think he would. Again, like I said, if he wanted to do something nefarious, he would have did something nefarious.
But you mentioned something earlier about, I don't want to try to say because I'm 57, I know everything. But yes, it come with wisdom, but they're not coming in Dominique defense. Just remember all the things that he fought for. The active is, this is kind of like different for what he normally do. So that mindset is not right there thinking the way you thinking. Okay, here's an opportunity. Mm-hmm. So it has to be changed. But I said this today, and it must be God. I said I was going to reach out to Dominique, and I was going to tell Dominique, maybe he should rebrand himself. People think when you say brand yourself, that means you have to change who you are. I'm just saying, rethink the way you redo some things, possibly get someone to be the spokesperson. So that way, no one has to pull up old interviews. As much as I talk, can nobody pull up an old interview, play it back and say, I said this, I said that. So right. That's what I think is needed. You have to rebrand yourself. And I'm going to tell him about your show. And I hope he will come on so you can honestly, because sometimes we need that hard feedback. Criticism, and it's nothing negative. It would help him because I do think that he needs a spokesperson. Anyone who's going through something like this, whether it's Black Lives Matter, whatever, have one person who can speak, like the police department. You notice they all get up and speak. They limit to what they say. Less is better. So now you're doing a whole playback, which is not on you. Or what he said, and now that's what people are doing, taking that, oh, this was said, that was said. So if you don't mind, I would love to email you my information, and I'm going to ask Dominique if you make sure you leave your contact information when I email you, if he will contact you, and I think he needs to come on your show.
I'm all about it. I'm going to drop the link right there. Now, real quick, because he did mention, and I don't know if you were there earlier, he mentioned that there's a high school with a building named after him.
No.
Are you familiar with this?
And Dominique didn't say that. Maybe he was talking about someone else. We don't have no high school with no building named after him in Dallas.
Okay.
Check and see. Verify. No, that have to go through the DISD, the trustees. And so with what he have going on, well, his past, I'm not, convicting him. He's already been convicted. But yeah, it wouldn't get by. It wouldn't pass because of those issues that he has with children. So you sure he said that? Because if he said that,
it was in this video. It was in this video. Let me see if I can pull it. Let me find
play that back because I got to call him out on that myself now.
I'm gonna do the real quick search. Now, the other thing that I thought was interesting, I just want to make sure we kind of parse through it, and I don't want to skip over it. Is I as good as the things that you're saying Dominique has done for civil rights and Black people in the North Texas area, I'm not going to take any of that from him. I'm going to give him all of that. But this situation here, even though you're a really good football player, you still wouldn't be qualified to be on the Knicks team that won the championship last night. So even in that, you could be a Heisman Trophy winning player, football player. You still don't need to be on the Knicks team last night. So that would be my only pushback on that, is that I still don't think that he was qualified to be a representative of the family, because the reason my point to give you is that he kicked Jeff Metcalf out, and I really believe that that would have changed everything that we're talking about. There's no way around it. I think everything would have changed if they just not kicked him out and
Well,
made
I
some kind.
think, yeah, I understand what you're saying, but I don't I don't think nothing would have changed, but I will say that I just think that, and there's nothing I say here that I haven't already said, that, maybe that's just having a master in marketing. So I'm always hard that you got to have a spokesperson. Less is better,
Well, I agree
and you
1,000%.
turn it over. If attorney is sitting right beside you present, you let the attorney say, because the attorney know what to say, what not to say. And that's what they're gonna have to focus on. Y'all might have it going on in Atlanta where y'all got those PR people. No, I'm being serious. And then at some point, you can be the, I don't want to say the word, the big dog. You can be the big person. Like, I do a lot of background work, but my voice is still heard. I don't have to be up front on the camera always saying something. And
I
I
agree
think that's what
100%.
we have a lot of that going on here. Like, I don't know if you following everything going on. We got a lot of black attorneys talking about how they could have did it better. Then I have to check them and tell them, well, you didn't volunteer to do it. You wanted 290. So now you see it's a whole nother fight going on. And really, I'm not gonna say if you had a black attorney would made it better, but I would have had a diverse team. There's no way I would have had an all white. I don't care if you did have some black jury. So we just have to do better. The parents have to be educated. I don't know the Anthony family. They have to be educated. They're old and wise enough to know, to make decisions. So they play a blame in everything, as far as how this happened and what happened, and I just say that I don't know where the money went. If they have the receipts, they need to just show where they spent the money. They saying that those lawyers was free lawyers, but those lawyers got paid.
Right, right. I don't think I think they paid those lawyers. I know that part. Real quick, I'm just going to read this real quick, and
Okay,
I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read this at. Let me make it big, and then I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna read it
okay,
first, and then I'm gonna
okay.
play it. At 13 minutes and 58 seconds, it says it's 1,600 kids. South Cliff High School is the highest academically rated comprehensive high school in Dallas ISD right now since new building. 5 championship appearances. My name is on the building. You know what I'm saying? Who built the John Lewis Social Justice Academic, or rather Academy, rebuild in Lincoln? He says his name's on the building.
Wait a minute. Play that clip.
Yeah,
His
I'm about to
name.
play it right now. I'm about to play it right now. I just
Yeah,
want to read
and I
it
need
first.
you to, and I need to make sure I get a screenshot of that.
Okay, let me screenshot it right now. While I'm here, I'm gonna screenshot it right now. When you email me, I'm gonna send you that. And then there you go. Got it? Okay, now let's play this and we'll make sure green hearts in the chat when y'all can hear.
100 kids. It's 1,600 kids. South Oak Cliff High School is the highest academically rated comprehensive high school in Dallas ISD right now.
Since the new building.
5 championship appearances. My name is on the building. You know what I'm saying? Who built the John Lewis Social Justice Academy, rebuilding Lincoln? Who building the downtown Dallas school with?
Is that fair?
You
Is
you
that fair?
about to make me call Dominique on this phone. Cause I'm
Hey,
gonna, now I mean, I'm not calling you out a lie, but I'm just saying I'm glad that I did chime in, because I'm gonna tell Dominique, and I'm gonna make sure I get that clip. Dominique, I'm watching the interview and you're up here talking about your name is on the building. No, John Lewis was built. Maxie Johnson is the trustee, got us that John Lewis school that's beautifully built. Yeah, so I have a real problem with that. I have a real problem with that. And I'm going to respectfully call Dominique. And that's why you have to be careful when you're doing interviews. You don't know who watching, who is what. And I'm going to ask him, where is your name at on the building?
I appreciate it.
No, I'm glad I chimed in, and I'm going to send you an email because, like I said, I didn't think you were lying or anything. But I'm going to send him. I'm going to call him, and I'm gonna let him know that I just heard him say that his name is on the building in the interview, and I'm gonna ask Dominique, where's your name at, because I don't recall his name being on the building. And I don't know if Dominique think people not gonna fact check that, but I have a real, no, I'm serious. I have a real problem with that.
No, no, I'm only laughing because I know sometimes we get to talking fast. I talk fast on here, and I've said things that have been wrong, and I've had to come back and to correct them, or I've got corrected in live in real time. But yeah, that one right there was just
That's
kind
a
of
lie. That's nothing that you may have said something wrong. That's just like my name, me saying my name on the state capitol. Now I do have my name on some buildings in the city of Dallas because I was on the
oh,
park department. So my name is all throughout the city. But that's just like me. My name is on the state capitol. Knowing my name is not on the state capitol. No, I have a real problem with that.
and right.
How long you gonna be on? What time your show end?
Oh well, it's almost past my bedtime, but I mean, I'm just gonna. I mean, like, what do you want me to do? I need to sit around. I hang around.
Yeah, you sit around and hang around. Hold on.
I'm all about it. I'm
No,
all about.
I'm a very, very. If you ask anybody about me, there, I'm very honest. I'm fair. I respect people's opinion. But then when you wrong, and you have to be called out on it.
I love it. Now you are in Dallas. I mean, help me out. I
Dallas.
have family. You are in Dallas. I have family in Frisco.
Okay.
So
Yeah, that's
he
like 30. Oh, how far Frisco? Straight off 75.
okay. So how far is Frisco from the Star?
Oh, from the start, you talking about
No,
the
from the where the Cowboys play.
oh, that's a drive. Probably about
Goodness.
an hour.
Wow. How did we
Arlington,
do
but
that?
it's worth it.
Oh no, it's beautiful. I've been there. I don't remember where we all. I don't remember if we stopped after he picked me up from the airport or what. But yeah, so I just
Hold
want to
on.
make sure. Go ahead.
Dominique, hi, this is Yolanda. I don't know how I came across this YouTube video. I was just tired of watching things about Carmelo Anthony, and then I saw you on doing an interview, so I chimed in. I was just giving you a call, Dominique, because I wanted to play it over because you stated that you mentioned South Oak Cliff and you mentioned John Lewis, and you said your name is on the building. And so I'm trying to see, did you misquote or what? Because I don't recall your name being on those buildings. So I'm just trying to get clarification, Dominique, because I don't know. I think that was a big I don't want to call it a lie, but I think that was wrong, because your name is not on the building. And then I'm also watching JWHIT. I think that would be a good live podcast that you should chime in and you can answer his questions because he was listening to another podcast. So if you don't mind, let me know if it's a problem. I'm going to make sure you get his number, get his information so you can be on his podcast. And you know what? He have a lot of subscribers, just the way you like it. So give me a call because I want to know what name, where your name is located on those schools. Thank you.
Well,
If
there we
I
go. We
if
don't.
I don't if I don't do it, then I mean that's just how I am.
No, I
I
love
mean,
it. Let me tell you.
very very blunt. But if I don't do it now, then it'll linger on. But he'll call me back, and then I'm gonna text him and tell him, Dominique, you over here telling people your name on these schools? Then he'll hurry up and call me like Dominique. He gonna try to say no. I'm saying yes, Dominique. I need that clip so I can play it back to him, and I'm getting ready to send it to the trustee to let them know. But I'm gonna try to work now. I can't say it's gonna be an easy job because I really don't run in the same circle Dominique run in. But I am gonna try to ask Dominique if he could just step back and hire him someone to be a PR person, and because if something else like this ever come up again, you don't want to drop the ball. And people did start, I can't say that it's his fault, but when people found out about his background, they did start attacking and name and dropping this and that. So, you already know when people get things in their mind, they run with it. So all that could have played a factor into it, why the jury did what they did. So people just gotta have to look at who they call on to be the voice for them. Is that a nice professional way to say it?
Oh no, I agree. I'm with you 100%. Yolanda, me and you are we are good to go.
Well,
Like
you know what?
I love the way you handle that. Yes, go ahead.
The next time you have time, you let me know. And we're just going to have an open, honest dialogue. And I will give my perspective on put my makeup on and look cute. why I think it is best for people to hire. Because, see, we black and we can talk black. I don't know why people get offended when white people say something, as if we the only one can say we want to say. But we really do need to have some open, honest dialogues about, this very everything what you're saying now. And it's not so much as beating up on anyone, but that's just the way life is. If you got a background, they're gonna look it up, and the shoe was on the other foot, they would have did the same thing. And so that could have played a impact because if you have family in Frisco, they are bougie up there, right?
Hey, he is. He is.
Yes. Yeah, even those that look like us.
Oh no, my brother's very bougie. I love my brother. He's bougie. But look, I'm in North Atlanta. Look, we
Let
bougie
me
too.
see that left hand. Let me see your left hand.
Yeah, I'm taking them.
You taking, oh Lord, I tell you, your wife, see, she let you do this because she know you hell. Say, honey, go on, do your podcast. Just leave me alone.
She's sitting in the kitchen. She's sitting right there. She can see me.
Yes,
Come here.
I know she gonna tap you on your shoulder. She gonna say, she gonna tell. Do y'all ever, when you done, do y'all ever go back and she let you know how you did?
She laughs at me if I'm loud. They only talk about me if I'm loud. So
Okay.
I'm off the kitchen. So if they hear me talking loud, getting excited, if you will, then they'll dog me out after that. But otherwise, they'll leave me alone.
Well, you have a very, very good show, and I'm glad that I
Love.
just was listening in and ran across you because you really, really, really do have a good one. And like I said, I had to type some things in there to get your attention, but I didn't know you could bring a person on live and then you gonna put up there. And I'm like, oh, good thing I say, oh, I never say anything like derogatory, disrespectful, because that gets you nowhere but banned and kicked out.
Oh no, you can say bad stuff about me. I can tell you some bad stuff about me. It's perfectly fine.
No,
Um,
you the hosters. You're not the topic of the conversation. We got to stay on topic.
yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. I do want to ask you this because you said you have a paralegal background,
Uh-huh.
and this is the very last question because I don't want to keep you all night.
It's
But I do want to
okay.
ask,
I stay up to 12 o'clock anyway.
okay, do you think Carmelo should have taken the stand?
I'm gonna say, knowing how Collin County is, I say no, because that prosecutor would have tore into him, and oh my God, and he could have made it worse than what it was. Could have been looking at 99 years, and I think that's the only. You got to think about the maturity, his mindset. He would have just
Really?
mm-mm.
Okay. So now that's where I was whatever that it was, Tuesday. I was there. Like he shouldn't have gone on. He shouldn't have got on. But later on I started thinking about like how were you going to make this case? Because I don't think they made the case. Um
that the
so
defense attorney.
the only way you can make self-defense is like, okay, well, Jason, what happened? Well, I stepped over here and Yolanda punched me in the nose and this person did that and I felt I thought my life was in jeopardy and the knife just happened to be in my hands. So I just defended myself. You know, I think that it he needed to explain that because I don't think there was ever a really solid, and again, we'll understand more perfectly when we get the transcript, but I don't think there's a solid case for self-defense.
Well, the attorneys, I don't understand. I don't know the head attorney, but Mr. Toby Shook, if you look him up,
Uh,
he is a bad, bad criminal lawyer in Dallas County. So when they said he was on the team, um, not that because him and the prosecutor used to, be together, Sherlock office, none of that. But I was very disappointed because we know Toby Shook is a darn good lawyer. And I feel like the defense attorney failed him. They did not, I had to find out, they did not ask for a change of venue. Why? You already know this case was already tried in public. They said they did not submit that. Number two, they did not press hard to get the evidence in and the discovery. And so, all those kids got cell phones and everything on there. Nothing gets deleted. When we delete these text messages, they can go back and get them. I think the defense attorneys failed them, failed Carmelo Anthony. And then not to bring the witnesses, none whatsoever. So why I'm waiting for everyone to point the finger at the defense attorneys, and especially Toby Shook, with him being a stellar attorney. But you see how quiet everyone is on that.
So that would be my question. Like, I don't think that any attorney wants to lose. So I don't think Toby Shook, and I do forget the lead attorney in this case. I don't think they want to lose. So why do you think that they didn't do these things that ultimately caused them to lose?
Well, I know no one wants to lose, but at some point you have to show that you want to win. So when you just sit there, do nothing, don't call witnesses, then you don't want to win. You didn't have no expert witness there. You didn't have no psychologist there.
Hmm.
There's videotapes that I'm waiting for it to come out. I don't know if I don't know the Caucasian man. I hate to label people as white, but the FBI guy, he's doing a better job than what the attorney was doing. How did he get hold to an email saying that the cheerleaders wrote and talked about the two? Did you get that one?
I heard that. I heard that.
Okay, well, I'm gonna make sure I send that to you so you can actually have a copy of it and everything. So he's
Okay.
doing a better job than the attorney. So if the attorney not fighting for Carmelo, then what do you expect? Now, so who found the attorney? So, I wish the Anthony's come on and just be open on. Some people said that. I don't know. I wasn't there. They wanted all white attorney. So you see, everything is just up in the air. At this point,
Oh,
they're
like,
gonna have to just, if they get some more money that's people raise for his appeal, I do think it'll be handled much better because them celebrities not just gonna throw their money around, and they need a diverse team of appeals attorneys. You can't just look at all black. You just can't look at all white, because guess what? In Texas, I think you have 9 Democrats and I gotta see 6 Republican on the Court of Appeals. But guess what? Only 3 people get to eat. Three judges get to hear your case. So you might get 2 Democrat, 1 Republican, vice versa. So you have to have some diversity, and they have to get away from this Republican and Democrat when you on the bench. And that's another thing that kills people. You go down there, you look for this lawyer, that lawyer. You just got to find the best defense. So I think they all failed him to a certain extent.
I got you. No, no, I agree. As I said in my during the stream, I think a lot of people let him down, and I do think that his mom and dad did not prioritize this situation. Um, just like if you have little people, once they start talking about going to college, and you know that you're gonna have to write a check, you're gonna put a lot more effort and attention into learning about this school and where your money's going. Now, my big girl goes to college. I don't necessarily, I'm not the biggest fan of the school, but they have some, they got my girl's attention, and they're doing a great job. So I'm becoming an expert in this college. And I'm just wondering, and I've listened to several interviews with the Anthony's because they can't seem to find a camera that they don't want to jump in front of. I don't feel like they prioritize this boy. I
I
feel like
Oh, go
I
ahead. I'm
don't feel like
sorry.
it was a priority when the dad talks about it, like stuff and people told me and this and other. What else did you have to do? Your child, your 17-year-old, is about to go to jail for 100 quadrillion years. Sir, you don't have anything else but to become an expert in the law and understand so that you can ask questions of your defense and in such of that nature. Because you're putting all this money toward these defense, you need to make sure that you know what you're doing.
I
And
think it was. I
go
think. I think it was a priority. They were young and naive. You never been put in this situation, but then you go to someone, or you have someone who you think is knowledgeable to be your spokesperson. So at the same time, you're stressing. You don't know what's going to take place, and I think this is when I say wisdom. It would have been great if some older people would have adopted the Anthony family. When I say that, you don't have to be upfront doing it. You can call them on the phone, check on them, guide them, and lead them. They're relying on Dominique, and based on probably what they saw him do in the past, and his expertise. At the same time, you letting, I don't know who made, decisions, but you're letting someone help make the decision for you instead of, taking control of the wheel and saying, wait a minute, I have to stop. So, when people are vulnerable or they down, and that's when people come in, sometimes they can just take advantage of you. So they have to do better as parents, and not to, I didn't like it when, the comment I did hear them say, yes, you feel as if your defense lawyer didn't do a good job, but that could have been brought up during that time, not now because it's over. So, and especially after people gave money, I don't donate to GoFundMe. I'm just being very honest.
No,
I
no,
don't.
that's fine.
If somebody die, y'all don't want to have insurance because y'all got iPhones, Nikes, and all this other stuff. So I just try to use my little coins to help the community, a senior citizen. But I think they were naive. And yeah, they probably should have had someone older, or let's say, for instance, if I'm involved in something like this and I'm tasked to do this. Well, I may be 57 and think I'm wise, but I still have a network of older people in the community. I'm going to rely on them and ask them, hey, I got this big task. I'm the spokesperson. I need y'all to make sure I stay grounded. Can y'all pray with the Anthonys? Can you help me with them? That's what I would have done. I'm not a camera person. I don't have to be in front of the TV. And I think a lot of this goes on down here where we live. Everybody wants to be seen, but some people want to do the work. So I think it was, if everyone is going to take the blame, they all can share from the time the press release took place, the things that were said, the parents, and I don't know who told the parents they couldn't say anything. Like, even when they made up all the false accusation about they bought a new car, they did that. Well, whoever was the attorney then should have got ahead of that and should have, said something. So you let all this stuff build up, build up, build up, and now this is where we're at. Even now, whoever the spokesperson is, list where the funds went. I personally don't care because I didn't give anything, but I'm saying to diffuse everything that's going on, show where the money went.
I think I think you are my sister from another mister, because that's what I agree with. If they would do that, and again, a good spokesman, I think, was key in this situation, and they just didn't have it. And I do believe that this would have been different. I do believe it would have been different. Again, I do believe Carmelo would have still gone to jail because he did in fact kill somebody. But I do think that the outcome and the way that the community and the halo effect, if you will, would have been totally different had they just moved with a different person. So that was it. But yeah, thank you so much, Yolanda. This was fun.
No, thank you. And I'm gonna stay on top of them. I'm gonna follow you, and you send me your social media handlers and everything. Cause, oh Lord, it's a job. It's a job.
You
Everybody
send me
have.
an email. You send me an email. I'll send you all my details, and we
Okay.
can just stay in touch from there. But
Thank you. And when is your next show?
Uh, I was supposed to do a morning show tomorrow. I usually do a Monday morning show, but I'm probably gonna phone that one in. but
But normally, are you on every when? How often are you on?
So I usually do my evening shows like this, like covering legal cases and out stories like that. So tomorrow is Monday. It was going to be my Monday morning show. My next one would have been Tuesday evening. But
And did you cover? Are you covering the incident that took place in South Carolina?
I did not cover that. I did talk a little bit about it, but I know what you're talking about. But
Okay.
on Thursday, I have a lawyer coming on.
Okay.
Matter of fact, shout out to everybody. I didn't tell y'all this yet. I have a lawyer coming on. The bearded lawyer will be on Thursday evening. And we're going to talk about the South Carolina case. We're going to talk about the Carmelo Anthony and just other cases, just, getting some fine details ironed out from a legal expert.
Okay.
So that'll be Thursday evening, 6 o'clock my time, Eastern Standard Time.
So you're
But
an hour ahead of us. So that'll be 7 o'clock because I'm in Texas.
that is correct.
Well, I just want to say thank you to all your wonderful, wonderful subscriber. Thank you for allowing me to come on. You are an excellent host, and just this is the way things supposed to be done. If someone say something you disagree with, bring them on. And I'm so glad I found you. So not tonight because it's sleep. So I'm gonna make sure I do my truth without apology, and I'm gonna give you a shout out and let them know that I think this the way journalists should supposed to handle things, And I'm
Thank
so
you.
grateful and thankful. And tell all your many, 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 many subscribers, thank you. And they were so nice too in their comments. I want you to know that. They were
Well,
very nice.
there we go. And look, shout out to the best live chat on the internet. That's why this is the best live chat on the internet.
Yeah,
That's just
I
true.
think I don't watch too many, but I need to see how I can keep you. I gotta put you in my favorite so I won't lose you.
I'm in Yolanda's
And
favorite.
I'm gonna, you know
Yeah.
what? And I think I just might subscribe and give you a few little my dollars, you know.
No,
I
just
don't have a whole
subscribe. I love it.
I don't have a whole lot. I can give maybe just a few dollars, but I see it said I can sign up. I mean, I am going to subscribe and
Well, thank you.
thank you so much. You need to go to bed. It is 11 o'clock your time.
It is. It is past my bedtime.
And
Well,
tell your
thank you,
wife I
Yolanda.
said thank you for letting you stay on longer than you normally would stay on.
Well, you are more than welcome. Thank you so much, friend.
Okay, so what
See,
I do, just click off.
yeah, I'm gonna drop you real quick, but don't forget to email me if you don't mind.
I'm getting ready to do that now. Thank you,
Okay,
sir.
perfect. You're
Okay,
more than
have a
welcome.
blessed
Take care.
night.
You too.
Bye.
Be blessed. Grace and peace. All right, y'all, come on. Can we put Yolanda in the chat? Can we put Yolanda in the chat again? We've got another friend, y'all. Come on, y'all the best live chat on the internet. I'm telling you, there's some good chats on the internet, but this is the best live chat on the internet, hands down. You're not gonna beat those charges. Shout out to y'all. Thank y'all so much, every one of y'all. I appreciate y'all. Let's put Yolanda in the chat. Let her know we appreciate it. That was fun. That was fun. I'm glad. I'm so glad we just took time to parse it out. There we go. And that was a lot of good insight. There was a lot of good intel right there. Shout out. All right, good people. All right, it is well past. Oh wait, what do we got here? Michelle said this with the 5. The longer Carmelo Anthony drew out the trial, the longer he would have spent in jail because he wasn't getting any time served, and he was guilty as sin. Shout out for sure. That is another good point. I imagine if he had not gotten out, gotten that sweetheart deal of bond. He was in jail, parsing through it. He finally got out on bond. I think that really would have helped out because it would have been like, look, I'm a cop a plea. I'm a cop a plea because it already admitted it. So, but no, I agree with you right there. Thank you so much for that. All right, my good people. Just real quick, letting you know, tomorrow is Monday. I usually do my Monday morning show. It depends how. It's very possible because we went over a lot of stuff tonight. But I do want to let y'all know this Thursday coming up, we have the bearded lawyer coming on, and we're going to be talking about all these different cases. The South Carolina, of course, what happened here in Texas. Talk a little bit about Candace. We forgot about Candace, right? So that's going to be on Thursday. I'm going to put the thumbnail and everything up in a moment so you all can check that out. Just make sure you hit that notification bell and all that kind of good jazz. This week we got a lot of fun stuff coming up, but most of it will be around this topic. I got a couple of videos coming up around the Carmelo Anthony and such like that. And a lot of people have been talking about it, wanting my insight or wanting what I think about things. So that's why we're going to do it. So thank y'all so much for that. Thank you to everybody who stayed around with us. Man, we had quite a few folk up in here tonight. So thank y'all so much to everybody who tapped in this evening. I really appreciate y'all. Thank you so very much to the very kind and supportive super chats. Thank you so much, Gene Lee, for being the stream sponsor. I appreciate you. Thank you to all of y'all that have come and tapped in, even the Black Klansmen up in here. You're wild, man. Absolutely wild, Eric. But I want to say thank y'all to all of you. Thank you so much for tapping in with us. And it really does mean a lot. So if you don't mind, please tip your waiter on the way out the door. Make sure you hit that like button, all that kind of good jazz. Say goodnight to your good friends, and I'm going to see you all real soon. Until then, grace and peace. Take care. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Jay Witt Podcast. If you enjoyed today's show, please do me a favor and hit me up with that 3-piece special. Like the video, subscribe, and of course, share it with somebody who would also enjoy this type of content. And make sure you leave a comment because I do pin the best comments to the top. So thank you so much for tuning in today. And until next time, everybody, grace and peace.